Oh my God. We're coming to do live shows in Melbourne and Sydney coming up. Dave, what are the details?
We are coming up to Sydney very, very soon, live Saturday, July 13th, 2024 at the Ritz Cinema in Randwick, our first podcast in Sydney in almost 2 years. What a great venue. Come on down.
So excited. And then, Dave, you and I are going to be doing a live Who Knew It with Matt Stewart at 3 p.m. on August the 3rd at Comedy Republic. It's the 100th episode. Whoa.
It is so exciting. And Jess, where can people get tickets?
At dogoonpod.com. You really put me on the spot there, and I did okay.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds. At Mint Mobile, we like to do the opposite of what Big Wireless does. They charge you a lot, we charge you a little. So naturally, when they announced they'd be raising their prices due to inflation, we decided to deflate our prices due to not hating you. That's right. We're cutting the price of Mint Unlimited from $30 a month to just $15 a month. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
Hi, it's Mark Bittman from Food with Mark Bittman. Friends, a word from the folks at Whole Foods Market. Customers love shopping at Whole Foods Market on holidays like Thanksgiving and Mother's Day. But the fact is there are lots of ways to save on quality items every day at Whole Foods Market. Here are some of them. You can see the savings for yourself because Whole Foods Market has great everyday prices on customer favorites like responsibly farmed salmon, no antibiotics ever chicken breasts, organic strawberries, organic blueberries, and more. And you don't have to sacrifice quality to save. There are so many ways to save at Whole Foods Market, and now you know.
Welcome to another episode of Do Go On. My name is Jess Perkins, and as always, I'm joined by Matt Stewart.
Jess Bob Perkins in the house. So good to be here, Jess.
Yes.
It is sad because normally you're sitting here and I can touch you, but now you're sitting there and I can't.
That's right.
Which I guess is probably for the best.
It is sad, isn't it?
It is sad.
Or was it a choice?
You normally reach out and try and touch my fingers at least a couple times during the episode.
It's because you don't realise that sort of while you're thinking or making a point, you often kind of stretch your hand out and put your hand like flat, splayed out on the table between us. And so I always just put my hand on top of yours.
Like we're playing some sort of game with hands.
Yeah.
It's good that the hand that it's on the table, I think, rather than sort of higher.
Agreed. Yeah.
raised.
He's putting it on the table and that's okay.
Champs on three.
Yeah. It's that kind
1,
of
2,
energy.
3, champs. No. Yeah.
Well, we just heard a mystery voice as well there, Matt.
Yeah.
We have a special guest in.
We do. And what a pleasure it is. Can I introduce him?
Please.
Well, you might know him from things like Benny and Sereni, the Talkback Radio podcast from XFM. Is that right, XFM?
Triple X
FM. Then you've also might know him as the host of A Good Tucker on SBS in Australia, the show where he explored Australia's multicultural communities and history through cuisine. Mm-hmm. You might also know him as a regular guest on Who Knew It with Matt Stewart and from his report on this very podcast about a wine heist many years ago, maybe one. His name, if you don't know already, because you probably do,
Sounds
it's on
like you've forgotten.
Title of the episode. Just give me a hint. It's Suren Jayemanne.
Hello. What a pleasure to be here.
We'd love to have you.
Yes.
Such a delight.
Oh, by the way, Suren, you haven't asked, which I think is really fun. Dave is fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't need to worry about him.
Don't worry about him.
So and no
I
one
was concerned.
No, well, you don't need to.
Okay.
Because we've assured you he's fine.
He's fine.
Okay.
And listeners at home, I'd like to say to you as well that he is fine. Don't look into it.
Don't look into it.
Because it would be a waste of your time.
And honestly-
And listeners at home, I would like to point out that I did look into it.
Yep.
He is not fine.
Wait, hang on.
No, he's
Hang
fine.
on.
See?
He's fine.
Yeah, that was
It
a
was a
joke.
joke.
That was a funny joke.
And we'd only joke about it, obviously,
If he was fine.
If
If
he
he
was
was
fine.
fine.
We wouldn't joke about it if he wasn't
And here's
fine.
the thing. At this stage, dear listener, okay, he's not here for this episode. That's one episode.
Yeah.
He could have been busy.
Yeah.
You know? It's if somebody's missing for several weeks at a time, sure,
Yes.
then come up with some conspiracy theories, of course, to be suspicious. But it's like he's just gone. He's fine.
Yeah.
I think we've done pretty well there.
Yeah, I think, and I'd expect to see him back someday.
Someday.
Yeah.
Soon.
I reckon he'll turn up. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, there is, of course, questions about where does he start and, he end. Is a body? Is that
You've
who
gone
he
too
is?
far now. You have gone too far.
What do you mean?
No, I think it's probably just best if we get into the... I'll explain how the show works.
I don't understand. I'm just saying is the soul Dave or is the body... Like, I think he'll turn
Important
up
questions.
in some way or another.
I would argue that a part of Dave's soul is inside you and I.
So he's
Every
turned
day.
up here today.
He's here today.
He's here today.
And welcome, Dave.
He's here and he's fine and welcome, Dave.
And he won't be talking, but he is here
Yes.
and fine.
Do you want me to explain the show really
Sure.
quickly? I'll have a crack at doing it really efficiently.
Okay.
So one of the three of us, Suren's sitting in for Dave this week. I've already fucked it.
It's all right.
But we go away and research a topic and, we just bathe in it. We get in a bath and we just fill that bath
A
to the
wet
brim.
desk is what we call a bath.
With knowledge. That's
Yep.
right. We get in the wet desk. We get soaked by
Yep.
knowledge on this topic. Then we put that knowledge into like a pretty basic kind of report. Something like maybe a year 9, year 10 student might do.
Certainly not not VCE.
Not VCE. They
No.
bring it in and then they present
Sorry,
it to the class.
HSC. I don't know. No, you
No, I did
here.
the VCA. Yeah.
Never mind.
And Suren's doing the report this week. He's done the research.
Mm-hmm.
He's brought the report in. He's going to tell it to me and Jess, and we will listen on, and be pretty respectful, but maybe chip in with dog shit riffs sometimes.
Sometimes.
Tedious questions.
I think when we don't know the guest as well, we tend not to be too dog shit because we have respect for them.
Yes.
But when it is a friend of ours,
Yeah.
and we feel comfortable and we obviously don't have any respect for them left, they will be pretty dog shit riffs, yeah.
No, and I understand how you work as like a team
Yeah.
with Dave, like with your good friends.
Yes.
There's a good rapport, and
Yeah.
what you do to show love to your good friends is you disappear them, and you
Yeah.
make references to maybe they'll show up as a body, maybe not.
What?
Huh?
What is that?
So if at any point during this
What
podcast
are you talking
you
about?
would like to, harm me,
Do you want it? I mean,
I'll take that as a
you're
sign
playing
of
a
love.
very dangerous game right now, sir, and don't cross us.
Here's the thing, Suren, we have a lot of UK and US and international listeners. They don't understand the cultural nuances of the Australian act of love, which is disappearing someone.
Yeah.
So I think to them it probably sounds a little bit
More
bonkers.
sinister.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
okay.
But it's
It's a
really
cultural
just
thing.
It's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
It's a
No,
cultural
and
thing.
I'll take it as a sign of love.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully your family will too.
What are you saying? They don't understand the Australian culture?
I think they get it.
I
think they get
understand.
it. Yeah.
We do usually start with a question to get
Yes.
onto the topic. Do you have a question for us?
I do have a question.
Fantastic.
If I was to tell you, Jess and Matt, that you were about to prepare some sort of food and these are the ingredients to use in it, this recipe calls for cream,
Okay.
sugar.
Scones. Ooh. Still scones.
Yep.
Okay. That's, it's still
That's not
eligible at this point.
Yeah.
Orange flower water,
Orange
Oh.
flower.
as in the flower from an orange, or like an orange flower, I guess. It's
I-
spelt flower as in FLOWER.
Oh.
Oh, orange flower water.
Yes. And then
So the flour from an orange
Oh.
made into water.
I think so.
Yeah, okay.
I've not
Orange cake?
I've only done this report to a year 9 level of competency.
Of course, yeah. You're not.
Although when I was in year
MasterChef.
9, no, I didn't do any VCA. So
No.
ambergris is the last ingredient, which
Oh.
is whale vomit.
Excuse me.
So if those are the ingredients listed in a recipe, what are we?
vomit?
What am I asking you to prepare?
Whale vomit.
Wait, are you
Orange flower water,
Yes, sugar,
sugar and cream.
cream
the only whale vomit I know of specifically
is not
was
in scones.
Pinocchio.
Oh,
Yes.
because he swallows up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pinocchio.
And
But
then he lights a match.
Does he get vomited or does he go out the blowhole? I can't remember.
Oh.
I can't remember. I think he gets vomited. I think it's Finding Nemo where they go out the blowhole.
The blowhole. Yeah. Well, Pinocchio I think might be a little more anatomically correct.
Yes.
How's he getting in the blowhole? I actually don't understand whales. Why am I getting into that?
They're very big.
They're big.
Okay.
Well, you understand that.
Well,
That's
would
Okay,
we
but
have
let's-
heard of this?
So Okay. I'm going to take out the whale vomit for a second. So, Matt,
I will also say this is not a common... This ingredient wouldn't be... If you were making a thing today, you wouldn't be using whale vomit. This is the first recorded recipe of this particular thing.
So, Matt, think about it. If we've got like cream and sugar...
Is it a cocktail?
And then like some sort of flavouring, I'm guessing, from like the orange.
Yeah, the orange. I agree. That's a flavouring.
And we're just like, I guess, whisking all that together.
Oh, is it a flan? Oh, not a flan. What do you call those whisked eggs? There's no egg.
Meringue.
Is it a meringue?
Fuck, that's not bad, but that does require eggs.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess it would be like an ice creamy type thing.
It's a dessert.
It is. I thought it might take you longer to get there because you.
Me or Jess is right.
Well, it's not a scone and it's not a flan,
but it's a dessert.
It is a dessert, and
thank you.
Also, Jess said ice cream, so we can skip through it straight to the correct answer, which is ice cream.
Really?
Yeah,
that's not.
The whale vomit, you figured it out. It was impressive that you figured it out by excluding whale vomit from your analysis because that's quite integral to the whole process in that whale vomit helped things to freeze.
Oh, that's interesting.
Back in those days.
What?
Yeah. I think it's something to do with the fact that if you add salt to ice, it reduces the temperature. Like you can get salt and ice will make ice go to like negative 14 degrees or something like that.
Really?
And whale vomit must be very salty.
That's
whoa.
Yeah, because they're swimming around in
But why not just get salt?
Oh, okay. That's not bad. Yeah. You're saying instead of whale vomit? That's an interesting idea. Yeah.
I'm confused. What's the topic?
The history of ice cream.
Oh, that's
which Jess correctly guessed. I don't know why not just get salt. I guess it probably was easier back then to just get a whale very drunk.
Yeah. They're
take them
for
out
their
for
size,
a night. Yeah,
they're real lightweights.
Yeah.
So that is interesting though. So
the history of ice cream.
That's what we're about to do.
Oh.
Yeah, about to get into it.
Is that why they certain countries love hunting whales? They want to just have them for their ice cream factories.
Yeah,
they put them up, make them spew all day long. It's a brutal lifestyle.
It is,
but you get them drunk first, so they like part of the process.
Having a good time.
Yeah.
The hard thing is that they've already killed the whale.
Oh,
before they. Yeah, you got to get.
That's part of the hunting.
You probably got to keep them alive to get them.
And actually, they'd probably vomit so much that you wouldn't have to have them vomiting all day.
Oh, true.
It'd probably be like once a week they have a really fucking good party, throw up.
Yeah,
as we all did for a few years in our late teens, early 20s.
Job done for the week.
Yeah, and then. Yeah, you just have the rest of the week off.
Honestly, all of us did it. We all partied. We all had lots of friends at some point in our life.
We all partied.
And I think a whale, one of the best hangover cures is to just jump straight into the ocean.
Oh, yeah.
The whale's already there.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. No hangover. I have a question before you even begin.
Okay.
Do you think at the end of this episode, I'm going to be like, I really want to go get ice cream because we've talked about ice cream for like an hour? Or do you think off
the bat, I'm feeling like I never want to eat ice cream again.
Totally. That's what I mean. Like, am I going to be like, I'm actually okay for ice cream for about a year?
I reckon I think we might. I think you'll have a hankering.
Okay, great.
Because I have led with the whale vomit.
Yeah.
And by the end of the report, it might even be a distant memory.
Great.
I hope so. And actually, knowing me and my record of remembering things, probably in the next 10 minutes, that'll be gone.
On my way to the studio, I walked past an ice cream place and I pictured us all being there together after this.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
I'm in. Well, we'll see. I'll let you know at the end.
Grilling them about whether or not they still use whale vomit. That's what I thought would be
Where you kept the whale? This is exciting.
It was also somewhat pertinent, Matt, that you brought up Pinocchio.
Oh.
Because I will say there's probably a few lies in this report. Because
what's your tell?
I'm going to start by saying every article that I read to research this report was a blog on a gelato website.
Great.
Okay.
So it's like a gelato store.
They're not biased at all.
Yeah, they all have a history. They all have their own little
and they're telling you about vomit.
Yeah. And every article starts with a line that's like, who doesn't love eating a little ice cream on a hot summer's day?
Sure, there are people who don't like it.
But where did this delicious treat have its origins?
Okay.
So We're about to find out.
Exciting.
I love it because, like, Jess, Dave, and I, we're often quoting from, like, Britannica and and the New York Times and sort of like lofty-ish, reputable. And you're going from
gelatoman.com.au.
Gelato Man. Yes, I actually trust Gelato Man with my life.
Yeah.
I mean, not the New York Post.
Oh, it was a bit of a
Times.
worry that they're the two that I could think of as reputable. I'm like, maybe I don't know.
There's a lot of facts on gelatoman.com.au.
.au too.
Yeah. No, I might have added that. Okay, so we're going to start at the very origins, before it's even really, we're talking ice cream, just frozen treats, okay, if that's all right with you.
Please.
And you might be asking, what is the actual historical origins of ice cream? Was it Baskin's or was it Robbins?
Who was it? That's an age-old battle.
It's actually Hagen. Or was it Das?
Oh.
Was it Ben or was it Jerry?
Oh, my God. It's littered with duos.
Yeah, duos. It's like comedy, early comedy.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Was it Leno or was it Woodley?
It's like early comedy.
Early comedy.
Littered with jewels.
Lana Woodley in the 90s. But the Haagen-Dazs, I'm pretty sure, not to get off track too early, but that's some nonsense. Do you know that? It's like they just like workshopped a thing it's an American brand and they made up a phrase that sounds sort of like Scandinavian or whatever.
Yeah, right.
But it doesn't mean anything. Haagen-Dazs. Pretty fun.
That is great. That's like those, remember when you drove past the airport, there was always a big billboard with a guy that looked like Steve Jobs. It was like Derucci or something.
That's right. And it was like a furniture guy.
Yeah.
Designer furniture.
But it was meant to sound like Italian furniture, but it was like some Chinese company that they were doing the Haagen-Dazs thing.
He was just an actor.
Derucci.
He wasn't even, so the idea, we all sort of believe that this is a guy. It's like Guzman and Gomez, right?
Yeah.
That's some white Australians.
Yes, that's true.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, because Guzman sounds more like a Russian name or something. But the Derucci guy, I didn't know he was an actor. That'd ruin your acting career. You'd take one job and then you'd be auditioning for roles and be like, don't you have a furniture empire to run?
Aren't you too busy?
You can't be an actor.
You can't be a villain in this movie. You're that beloved furniture guy.
Okay, so obviously ancient societies, they didn't have ice cream, but ice and snow was very common as a use in creating like frozen drinks or treats. And because back in the day, they didn't have fridges. You know what I mean? Yeah. They didn't have means of storing
So they had to go and get it.
Pretty much they were harvesting ice and from snow, and it was quite common in like the Middle East and sort of Mediterranean kind of environments that what they would do is they would get ice during the winter months, and then they had to develop technology to basically store the ice in the summer because those places were so hot and they wanted to have these sweet treats. And so their first recorded appearance of an ice house for storing snow from the mountains comes from a cuneiform tablet from around 1780 BC.
Wow.
Whoa.
Okay, and it states that the king of Mari, and Mari is like one of the states along the Euphrates, where we would now call it Syria, he built an ice house which never before had been built by any king.
Wow.
Okay, and
normal people had them all the time, but kings didn't have them.
They were above the ice house.
Yeah.
But I looked into it, and there's no historians nor I have come across a cuneiform tablet that states otherwise.
Okay. So because it's like, if you want to discredit this cuneiform tablet, you better have a pretty legit cuneiform tablet.
I have to be honest, I don't think I know how fridges or freezers work now.
No.
So it is always very impressive to me when people have figured stuff out in the past.
Well,
like, wow.
And these things are crazy. They actually still use these in some places in like Iran and which was then Persia and those kind of countries. They had these things called yakchals, okay? And what that was, it sort of looks like a giant beehive, and underneath the ground there would be like a square chamber, I guess, which is when they harvest the ice from the mountain, they would put it into these chambers underground, and then above the ground was this beehive structure, which was kind of made of clay, sand, ash, goat hair and lime. They would like make that into a mortar, which would be around the thing to kind of waterproof it.
Right.
And then they would build like little aqueducts alongside it, which would catch the wind that comes in. So any water that melted in the chamber of ice beneath this yakchal would have like a little channel of wind that would come through to refreeze it overnight. Because of the cold desert winds at night. I'm talking like 550 BC. These yakchals, they date back to at least that. That was when the first ones were kind of dated back to, but they probably were around storing ice from even earlier than that. So that's 2,500 years ago.
The odds that the first ever tablet mentioning them was found, and even that tablet started talking about it like soon after it was. Normally, you find these historical documents and they're mentioning it as if it's been around for a while.
Yeah.
Because they're using words that like obviously people understand what this means.
Exactly. And the cuneiform the cuneiform tablet was probably like like you're saying, the invention of being able to document stuff probably happened after this ice storage. And so if you are the king and the first pen's around, you'd be like, just right, I invented that.
Yeah.
No one's had pens before.
That was one of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's no other history before this.
I started the first blog and it said, I came up with the internet pretty good.
Yeah.
This is me.
Yeah, I'm gelatoman.com. So essentially what I'm trying to say is before you can use ice in a desert, you have to store ice in the desert.
So
because it's all well and good to have a surplus of ice in winter, but a slushie just isn't quite as satisfying on a cold day, is it?
You don't need to.
But on a hot day?
On a hot day.
Oh, my God, yeah.
They had to do the same with hot water. So they would boil, their lakes would boil in the summer.
And they collect that?
They had to collect those.
Yes.
And they had to build structures with reverse aqueducts. To keep
it's
water
actually
hot.
like the opposite.
Yeah.
There's a chamber above ground.
Yeah, it's above ground.
Yeah,
that's
and
right.
the beehive is underneath.
Yeah, that's right.
Because hot air rises.
Yeah,
and
so it's interesting. But
I saw that on a cuneiform tablet, actually.
Wow.
I don't think I ever really put it together. Like, you know that there's a classic Simpsons episode about Bobo the Bear, which is Mr. Burns' Teddy, but it starts off with this ice expedition.
Yeah.
And they take the ice to the Quickie Mart, I think. And the guy's like, we lost 3 men on this expedition. There's got to be an easy way to make ice. But I'm like, that's just a funny, surreal, silly joke. But it's based in, they used to have to do that.
Yeah, they would send teams up to the mountains to collect ice.
Amazing.
And they call it like harvesting.
Yeah.
So it's like, going into the ground to get minerals or like foraging for different things.
And
so
now you just get molds in all sorts of fun little shapes.
You can make any shape you want.
Put it under a tap, put it in your freezer.
Yeah.
And you got ice.
You can get a giant little cube that you put into your whiskey.
Yep. You can get a ball to put into your whiskey. You can get little love hearts. That's fun. That's a bit of fun.
What were the things called again? The underground
yakchals.
Yakchals. Yeah, put it in your freezer or your yakchal.
Yakchal.
Well, it's funny you say that because in Iran that's still the word. And it translates roughly to ice pit, but that's what they would call a fridge in Iran, modern day Persia today.
Yakchal. That's a great name.
It's way better than fridge.
Yeah.
Or
fridge.
refrigerator.
Yeah.
Boring.
I'm a yakchal salesman.
I gotta go shopping for a new yakchal this weekend. Mine's on the fritz.
I think yakchal is now, that might have supplanted chili bin as my favourite term for a place to put cold stuff. In New Zealand, that's what they call like
chili
a
bin.
portable.
Oh, yes.
Like
a cooler.
What we call
Americans
an esky
would call it a cooler. We call it an esky, which is just a brand.
I've heard chillibin before. Is it though? We say it as if it's one word.
Chillibin.
But
No,
it's just in
chili
the
bin.
accent. They're saying chili bin.
Yeah.
It's their poor enunciation.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we speed it up and we're like, oh, chillibin.
Chillibin.
Yeah.
I love it. Chillibin.
Like they call thongs
talked you around.
jandals.
Jandals.
God, that place rules.
I learned so much from Tony Martin's old sketches. With he did a sketch on the radio back in the 90s, maybe about Tom and Foll. They used to go, we've got the feed from Tom and Foll's, Tim and Phil's New Zealand radio show. Hi, I'm Tom. Hi, I'm Foll. We're going to do a prank today. I'm talking about like calling the Moss and Persons Agency. And then it rings again. Hey, is this the Missing Persons Agency? Yes, it is. It is the Missing Persons Agency. We'd like to report a missing pair of jandals. Jandals? I think there's been a misunderstanding. We are the Missing Persons Agency. This is where you report missing persons. A jandal's just a comfy bit of footwear. So fun.
It's good stuff.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
I wouldn't have heard that for 30 years, but it's still, and I would be butchering it, of course, but
No.
still.
Word
It would
in
be
my
annoying
head.
if you were trying to call up the missing persons agency and you're on hold because someone's trying to report missing jandals. And you're like, excuse me, Dave's gone missing.
And he's fine.
Dave Warnocky.
Wait, what?
Huh?
Why did you use that name
We
specifically?
don't have to report him missing. We
No,
know where he is.
He's fine.
He's fine.
Yeah.
So the Persians didn't have ice cream as we know it today, but what they did have is in these yakchals they would store ice, but it also became like we would use a freezer today or a fridge today, a place to store like meat or fruits or
Cake.
anything, cake in the freezer.
Wedding cake. That's a tradition, isn't it?
Or
What is that tradition?
I have no idea. I think you eat it on your first anniversary or something.
Oh, right.
If you make it.
Oh, that's sweet.
Bit arrogant. Oh, we'll be together in a year. Freaking
Get
hell.
the
All right.
fuck over yourself.
Jesus Christ.
Get the fuck over yourself. That's what I say to them.
Nothing's permanent. Nothing
Yeah.
lasts forever. I was saying that to Dave just last week.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I say to
Don't plan too far ahead,
It's
Dave,
fine.
I said to him.
Yeah. You did say that.
I did say that to
Yeah.
him very
I say,
clearly.
I say that to everybody on their wedding day.
Yeah.
And
Don't
he needed
plan
to learn
so
that
far.
lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought I could teach it to him. Whether I did or not,
By showing love.
I don't
By
care to
showing
say.
love. So yeah, they would save stuff.
Yeah, they'd save them so that way they could enjoy them during the hot summers. So fruit, dairy, meat, and that kind of thing. And basically what happened was they realised that when you freeze fruit, it's quite delicious.
Oh.
And so it's sort of, this was probably some of the earliest records we have of, according to gelatoman.com, of the Persian, of like...
It will be so funny when there's someone will listen who's like an expert in this area and they go, that was all nonsense.
Gelato Man has been discredited by the industry. Have you guys tried frozen grapes? Delicious.
No.
Yum.
Really?
yeah,
Yeah,
frozen
yeah.
grape, it is like...
I don't understand.
As a summer treat,
Yeah.
if you are health conscious or you can't get your hands on ice cream, you freeze some grapes. Also, banana is a great one
banana'd
to
be good.
freeze.
Oh, yeah.
You know what you can do is you put jelly crystals on the grapes and then freeze them, and then they have like a
Popping.
they got like a fun little flavour to them as
Ooh.
well.
They'd just be
on
like
top of
balls
grape.
of ice, wouldn't they? Or the
Not
slightly...
quite as hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
as
the
actual
texture of
ice.
it gets it's slushy-ish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, that
but
does
it's-
sound good.
But it's also sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you go, red or green?
I'm a green grape girl. That was hard to say.
Yeah.
Triple
Good
G.
question because I'm a red wine drinker, but a green grape eater.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting and exciting?
That is. Jeez.
It's just fun to learn things about your friends.
Yeah. That's it's the equivalent of like a footballer who handballs with his right hand and kicks with
Yes.
his left, you know?
Next time I'm invited to Suren's for a dinner party, I know what kind of wine to get and what
Yeah.
kind
What
of
kind of
grapes.
grapes to bring?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's nice.
And I'll serve, perhaps, at my party, my dinner party, a faluda. Have you heard of these?
No.
Faludas. Okay, so it's like a Persian, it's very common in the Middle East. Different cultures have
Faluda
their own
matata?
version of faluda. Yeah,
that
ain't no
something?
worries
Yeah. Oh, I've heard of it in that context.
for the rest of my days.
Yeah.
Because now, even when the weather gets hot, we have figured out how to stay cool.
Because of the
Yakchal.
yakchal. That's a word that will not stick, but I
No.
love it so much.
Or
It's a
if
shame.
you're in New Zealand, the chilibin.
Cholibun.
But a faluda, it's like a starchy. It's like noodles made of some sort of starchy thing, and then they mix that with like syrup or honey that has been chilled on the ice. So the earliest, like dating back to these discoveries of yakchals, the faluda doesn't come long after
Yeah, right.
that. So that's kind of faluda, or this word might sound familiar to you, Shabbat.
Oh,
Yeah.
Shabbat.
Shabbat.
Is that a religious thing?
Well, that's the Sabbath, I guess, which I think in Hebrew they would pronounce it like Shabbat.
Right.
But this is not that. This is Shabbat, which is like which is a fruit syrup that's been served with honey that's chilled on the snow, basically, and then they would pour in milk and sugar.
Oh, that
and so it's kind of similar to what we'd call a granita.
Ah.
Pretty much what they're doing is they're crushing up the ice and they're flavouring it with some sort of sweet thing.
They do that in Hawaii, with like shave ice.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Yeah.
It's just syrup over ice.
Exactly.
You're essentially eating a Slurpee.
Yeah.
It rules.
As normally you would sort of slurp it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just it's not as wet as a Slurpee.
No.
It's just the ratios are different.
It's just at a different stage of its life.
Yeah. You give a shave ice a couple of minutes, it's a Slurpee.
It's a Slurpee.
Is Slurpee the name of broadly, or is that like the 7-Eleven version of a
I think
slushy?
it's a 7-Eleven version, yeah.
It is the Kleenex to tissues.
Right,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or the Hoover to presidents.
Oh, yes, to dams.
But so Sharbat is, and I might be mispronouncing that. I don't know if you have any Persian listeners, but
Jake Gyllenhaal, I think.
Wow, really?
No, but he was.
You don't know what I'm saying, really? To
No, that's true.
am I saying it to him being Persian?
He
Or
was
to him being a listener.
he was cast as the Prince of Persia. It was controversial.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Bit of fun, a little bit of fun.
Just a tiny
Does
bit.
Sharbat sound like anything to you?
Shabbat, I mean, it sounds a bit like sherbet, but also Shabbat is
Oh.
like the Jewish day of rest.
Yes,
Also.
which I think Suren just said before, but Jess wasn't listening then, obviously. But Suren also did point
I
at
was.
you
You're correct. You're 2 for 2
at
so
the
far.
sherbet.
Yeah.
Sharbat
I
would be
saw
the
that
root
also.
word for sherbet.
I've actually been hearing and watching. It's crazy.
Well, I thought I might have caught you doing a me.
So yeah, Sharbat is the root word for sherbet, and also the root word for anything else you can think of that's ice cream related.
Really?
Sorbet.
Really?
Yum.
So it comes from that, and sherbet was like originally, I guess a Turkish thing that was like it's not like there's little lemon lollies that we call sherbet, but
Or the powder. Whiz Fizz is like a sherbet.
yeah, Whiz
Yeah,
Fizz
it's a
is like
sherbet. Fucking love Whiz
And
Fizz.
did you have them when you were kids? There was like straws, and they were filled with different colours of this sort of sherbety powder.
Yep.
And you,
it was sort of like the introduction
Pixie
to
sticks.
drugs.
pixie sticks. Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
gateway. People
Yes.
talk about marijuana as a gateway.
No.
Sherbet.
Sherbet.
Yeah,
Whiz Fizz.
marijuana's the gateway to what?
You well and truly walk through the gate by the time you're smoking marijuana. The gate is the Whiz Fizz.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we'd line them up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You gotta rack them up. And
Even
yeah.
I would say like when you were a kid and you would just sort of spin around until you become dizzy.
Yeah.
That's the gateway.
Yeah.
Any sort of thing of escaping.
Diz, then
Reality.
Whiz Fizz.
Yep.
Then meth.
Yes.
That's
Diz,
how-
Whiz Fizz, then
That's
meth.
how I did it.
Yeah.
That's how.
That's
you did
that's
it.
a usual progression. And again, that might be a cultural thing.
Oh yeah, sure.
That might be an Australian thing.
So Sharbat, so it's like they love the Sharbat because of its cooling effect in the hot months in these hot climates, but also they believed at that time that they were medicinal properties, and probably because they're using ingredients like saffron and rose water, those kinds of things to flavor the ice, and so
It feels like every recreational drug and every dessert and everything, smoking, everything at some point.
Someone's trying to
it's
convince
invented,
you.
they're like, this is medicinal. Like Coca-Cola
Yes.
started out being sold at chemists or pharmacies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's medicinal.
It's good for you.
The cigarettes ones are the funniest. They're like really good for asthma.
Yeah.
And some of them are like, huh, is that so?
Yeah.
It's putting smoke into your lungs. Yeah. It helps. Yeah, it smokes them out, which
Yeah.
is good.
What? Cigarettes are great for asthma because what they'll do is they will make you have to go to the doctor to get a Ventolin.
Yeah.
And that is really good for
That is
asthma.
good stuff, yeah.
The Persians also had a particular fondness for sour flavors, which is probably why we associate sherbet with
Yeah.
the word sherbet, along with flower petals and herbs. So there's often like other tart juices like pomegranate, lemon, sour cherry, that kind of thing, that they would be mixing into these shaved ice. Another root word for sharbat is this word, shrub.
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 Yeah.
Like shrubs.
I guess so. I didn't follow that thread any further. I just thought it was fun to say shrub.
Shrub.
Yeah. You were right.
It is fun to say shrub.
Shrub.
And then, not long after these invention of these things, Yakchals, there are reports of the pharaohs in ancient Egypt offering guests when they have like esteemed guests and banquets and that kind of thing, they give them crushed ice or snow with mixed fruit juices and flowers and sweet ingredients. So it's starting to become like it's so hard to get ice. You're losing men going up the mountain harvesting the ice, that if you have ice and you can present treats and delicacies with ice, it's like a display of prowess.
Yeah.
So it's like
a real
luxury.
luxury. Yeah. Unlike now, you can just have a whole tub of it in your fridge.
Yeah. Often you'll go to Coles and the connoisseur's on sale.
Yep. You get cookies and cream.
You finish it that night.
Easy peasy.
Similar, I'd love you to come back one day and do one about the spice trays. It was a similar thing that so many people died trying to get these spices, and now it's like, there's a supermarket aisle where
they're just alphabetized.
Yeah.
I did actually, that was one topic that I did think about.
I think I've
think I'm staking a claim as a sort of the foodie.
Yeah, you're the foodie.
Oh,
you're the good tucker man.
Great.
You've done wine.
I'll stake a claim and I'll claim some steaks. But there's a lot of theories that are so there's competing theories. Gelato Man has one theory that the Persians were one of the first, but basically a lot of the ancient cultures discovered that if you put sweet things with ice, it's a good time.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're not talking about meth.
Okay.
It doesn't go with fizz, diz, and then ice. Okay, it's just ice and a little bit of honey. But there's another theory. I don't know. I couldn't find much about this theory as to verify it or not, but I thought it was fun, so I'd like to share it with you.
Please.
There is a theory that ice cream, as we know it in terms of using dairy, came about in Mongolia, the origins of using dairy as an iced dessert. And this theory goes that Mongolian horsemen who were traveling around...
Are we talking like part horse, part man?
I think...
is that what you're saying?
I think what we're talking about...
Because I'm starting to lose a little faith in Gelato Man.
Yeah.
Well...
Centaurs.
Yeah.
Is he talking centaurs?
Because that's why I'm losing faith in it, because he's used the wrong term there.
That's right.
Mongolian centaurs.
Yes.
My bad. Genghis Khan was known for...
yeah, his horse legs.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people focus on the fact that he, had a lot of had a lot of concubines.
Yeah, all the territory that he gained and all that sort of stuff. But
just gloss completely over the fact that he had 4 legs.
Yeah.
It's very easy to do that when you have 4 legs.
When you have 4 legs, and it's very easy to have a lot of concubines and women when you're hung like a horse.
Yeah.
Which he literally was.
They don't ever, when they go into those half-man, like Minotaur, Centaur, or whatever, they're never really focusing on the...
on the junk.
Reproductive organs.
Maybe they're just trying to be polite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it leaves a lot to the imagination, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, because it's right at that cutoff, isn't it? It's right at that line where one becomes the other.
Exactly.
Which side of the line is it on?
Nothing's ever perfect, You're getting a bit from both sides of the genetic tree.
So you might be getting the balls, human balls.
And horse
schlong.
Or human schlong.
Human schlong,
and
horse
balls.
balls. You don't want that.
No.
You don't want that.
Because that's going to make the human schlong look even less impressive.
Even less?
Yeah.
I think you want... I want to jump in here too.
Please.
I think because, you imagine a centaur front on, right? Basically looks like a man.
Yes.
Just standing there.
Yeah,
pretty impressive legs, but
it's
front
straight
on.
back, isn't it? That horse body is straight back, so you don't get that view. Yeah.
But so if you have got like
what a junk in the
human
trunk.
genitals...
Although, can I just quickly interject?
Sure.
Before... can I ask, when you look at a horse front on, do you think he's up on his 2 front legs?
I don't know what's going on behind.
That's a man with a weird head. Is that what you think?
Why the long face, fella?
Anyway, sorry.
No, I just think... So you don't want, like, human genitals where human genitals usually are, because then they're just right there dangling.
As well, like,
It'd be like
the front of the horse would be like right below
That'd be
his neck.
Terrible.
That'd be horrific.
So you want it where the horse junk goes. It's out of the way.
And the best thing about horse junk, it's a phrase I regret saying instantly, is it's retractable. We don't have that.
Yeah.
The first time I saw a horse have a piss, I was a kid, and it was confronting because it just goes whomp, and it drops out of nowhere, and then it's just a power hose, and then
Back it goes.
Well, I don't remember it going back in, but I assume
I'm sure
it
it
has
did,
to.
yeah.
They don't just drop once and then...
I didn't know that. So it's like, have you seen on television, if you watch it recently, they have these commercials. Mm-hmm. And one of them that I've seen...
This is a long run-up.
Is Al Borland from Home Improvement?
Yeah.
He's now the man, not Al Borland, but he's now advertising a hose that's made from a special copper compound.
I don't think so,
that
Tim.
It's sort of... That's probably the best way to finish that.
Have you ever
I don't need to tell you that story.
Have you ever seen the footage of a grand AFL Aussie Rules grand final in the 90s? And it was when Home Improvement was big, and the game's about to start. Bruce McAvaney, like the voice of AFL football, is there doing a thing to camera. The game's about to start. Al Borland walks in. And the Channel 7 sports sign is dangled. He says, "Oh, I can fix that for you." And he hammers it back on in character as Al Borland. As a, "All right, no worries," and walks off. It's so weird.
That's so funny that the biggest day on the sporting calendar in Australia, they couldn't get Tim Allen. They just got these sidekick. He's the best celebrity. We won't go with anyone from Australia.
We're flying out Al Borland.
Al Borland.
And then, because like a band, you get them to play.
Yeah.
What do you get Al Borland to do? Fix a sign in a weird sketch.
And then leave.
So strange.
Very odd.
So this is the Mongolian theory, is that the horsemen, they were traveling across the deserts and stuff, and they would go on these long journeys across the Gobi Desert. And in winter, what they would do is they would like fill up these animal intestines with provisions to so that
Still
they could
inside
store them.
That's just called feeding an animal. Or you mean that
there's other animals? They're not horse, but they would use
in the intestines, not still inside a working animal.
Not instead, inside the
They're using it as a receptacle.
But they would use it as a receptacle to store food for their journey to keep it fresh. And one of the food that they would store in there is cream. And because of the gentle clop clop of the horse, what would happen is that as they travel through frozen environments, the desert, when it's cold, the sub-zero temperature combined with the clop clop would sort of churn the cream.
It's clip clop, surely.
Yeah, it is clip clop.
But also, I think
horse is it a two-legged horse? It's only got left
Clop,
feet. Clop clop.
Yeah, there's no clipping going on.
But the listeners also need to know the movement Suren's doing, because I think the sort of waving movement plus the clop clop and the cream, it's painting a picture.
Thank you.
Is that where the name
That's what I'm endeavoring to
cream
do.
comes from? No, that's not anything.
Is that a name?
Clotted cream. Doesn't matter. So
Clopped cream.
So it's kind of churning it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so that's one theory of the origins of sort of a dairy-based ice.
Doesn't that sound nice? Slowly curdling
in an intestine.
Dairy inside an intestine, which I'm guessing is picking up a bit of the juices from that intestine.
You would, I guess one of the early flavors would be, horse intestine. Or, Mongolian intestine.
We don't use intestines and bladders and stuff like we used to.
No, we used to use them for balls.
Ball, yeah.
Yeah.
Early footballs were bladders. But yeah, now what do? Go in the bin, I guess.
We were a lot more sustainable back then.
Yeah. They probably end up in sausages.
Blech.
Right?
Ugh.
Don't they?
No, they probably, most definitely, I would say so. But not only
or dog food,
Oh, yeah.
Dogs get all the weird bits.
But there's a lot of nutrition in there.
Yeah. Beautiful for their coat.
I think we're missing out.
Do you want some kibble? I'll bring you some.
Kibble? That sounds good. I don't know what it is, but it sounds good.
You don't know what kibble is? Little biscuits you give to your dog.
Oh, well, I don't have a dog.
Filled of intestine.
Kibble.
In China, around 1600 BC, they're getting buffalo milk and they're freezing it with rice by packing it into snow. And apparently one of the emperors, Emperor Tang, around 600...
is he the guy who came up with the drink?
I knew it.
His first name was Light and.
Oh, this is a chip man.
Yeah. Light and Tang.
From the Thins Empire.
I don't think other places have light and tangy.
Don't they?
I'm not sure.
Right.
Oh, so you want to explain that for your international listeners?
They've got Google.
But I mean, I'm always so stoked when we have anything that is unique.
I know.
Uniquely Australian.
Wrong.
There's
Light
so
and tangy.
few things that are. So a flavour of chip,
Light and tangy crisps. Delicious.
We
what
take-
flavour are they?
Yeah,
Nobody
what would you
knows.
describe it?
There's some paprika
Green
in
and
there.
green and red.
Paprika.
Green and red
Green and
dust.
red. Green and red dust. Delicious.
It's good stuff.
And it is, I would say, pretty light and a little tangy.
a little bit of tang.
As
Yeah.
a child, that was my favourite flavour.
Same.
I think even today,
If you get a good packet,
yeah, it holds up.
sometimes you get a packet because you're feeling nostalgic and there's barely any flavouring on it. And I'm like, how fucking dare
Yeah.
you? But if you get a good packet, lots of flavouring, nothing better.
It's a little bit too much emphasis on the light.
Yes. I want emphasis on the tang.
Yes. You've got a little light on the light and tang. But yeah, so this guy, Emperor Tang, and this is about 100 years later in 600 AD, he's obsessed with like these frozen desserts, and he has a team of 90 slaves who, as you were referring to, Matt, he would send them up to the mountains to gather fresh snow, and he called them his icemen.
Iceman.
Yeah, and that's because they were usually quite frosty towards him. They didn't like being sent up to the snow. And they were like, Emperor, you're a bastard.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah,
Such
Gelato Man has
language.
taken some liberties
They would
with this
speak that
history.
way to their emperor.
Yeah.
That is ice cold.
I would say that, yeah, just Gelato Man's taken some liberties, and then on top of that, I've added my own flavouring. Obviously, in India as well, they had kulfi. Have you ever had kulfi?
No.
So kulfi translates to covered cup, but it's a dessert that originated probably again in the Persian Gulf, but in the Mughal Empire in the 16th century, that's when India really takes it over, and it's basically dense evaporated milk. But they are mixing in pistachios, saffron, and like other sweeteners, and they're packing it into little metal cones. And it's like, again, very much the Mughal Emperor. They're the big guys that went through, like, they were like kind of the Arab people that came into India and conquered it and then went through Asia and South Asia and stuff. And they, it's a real delicacy.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
A real luxury again.
And they're using salt peter, which is, again, a salty type thing to help refrigerate and create freezing temperatures.
Do you know much about when was did you say the Arabs conquered parts of India?
Yes.
When was that approximately?
I think around like 15th, 16th century. I don't know too much about it. All I know is that they were called the Moops.
Oh, the Moops.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to accept the Moors. It's the Moops.
Oh, no. It's the Moops.
Do you want me to quickly tell you what I found about Light and Tangy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to.
This is according to junkfoodbetty.com, and I think she probably works in cahoots with
Yeah.
Gelato Man.
I think they know each other well.
So I think she's American and was sent a bag by an Australian, and she didn't know what any of it meant. So she's like, thins she described as like Lay's.
Yes. Yep, that would be accurate.
That's equivalent, yeah.
Yep.
She said, thins, light and tangy, had a nice vinegar bite with an equal amount of tang. I could definitely identify some onion in there, but it wasn't sour cream and onion flavored. Perhaps a bit of ranch flavoring. I think ranch could count as tangy. I won't lie, I did look up the ingredients only after I'd tasted the chip. Some of the ingredients are vegetable powders, onion, tomato, flavor, natural, flavor enhancer, 621, and herbs and spices.
MSG.
So it's all so vague. I couldn't taste any tomato, but the rest seemed on point. Of course, I have no idea what 621 flavor enhancer is, but hey.
It's MSG.
It's MSG.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
No wonder Light and Tangy tastes so good.
Yeah, it's MSG. Well, the packet just has tomato, like, as in on the front. You know how it's got
the pictures,
It's a picture of a bowl of chips, and then next to it is a tomato and some paprika.
Oh, there you
and
go.
maybe some, maybe peppercorn.
That's all they're giving
That's
away.
it.
They don't put a little bag of Ajinomoto MSG there. Though.
Yeah, what she says she enjoyed the taste. They have a nice balance of vinegar, salt, and a pleasant but not overwhelming ranch-like flavour. Nothing crazy or groundbreaking, but a fine snack nonetheless. 3.5 out of 5. Kudos for using the moniker light for seemingly no reason at all.
Oh, they're pretty, like, they're not a dense chip.
Yeah.
You know, they're a thin, I mean, the company's called Thins.
Yeah.
They're a thin cut chip.
Yeah.
They're light.
It
You
would
can
be-
eat a whole packet.
It'd be bold if they're referring to the weight with the light.
Yeah, they're really padding out the
rather than a
description there.
flavour. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a lightly flavoured chip. She did bang on about how the ranch type flavour was pretty light.
Texture is important.
So, like, read your own words, Betty.
Come on, Betty.
Come on, you're better than that.
I don't know if Betty is.
I think Betty is. No, I love Betty. I love junk food Betty.
But let's get back to the history of ice cream.
Okay, I wonder what her thoughts are on it.
So we're going to jump forward now to the European continent. And there's some conjecture about this. There's some theories I'd like to share about how ice cream came to be in the European context.
Okay.
One of them is that the Arabs who were traveling around, the Moops that went to India, it's believed that maybe the Arabs brought shrub to Italy, or Shabbat to Italy. Another theory is that Marco Polo saw it when Emperor Tang, it was popular in China, and then when Marco Polo went to China, he saw it there and he got a recipe and brought it back to Italy. So there's a bit of conjecture about that. What we're interested in now though is not shrub, but how did sorbetto evolve?
Isn't there?
Gelato?
There's conjecture that Marco Polo ever made it to China, isn't there, or is there not?
There is conjecture about that.
So that's part of that. Would probably rule it out.
if he never even went there, which is the same. There's like a myth about that the Italians got pasta from seeing
from
noodles.
the same thing, right?
Yeah, I think from Marco Polo. But I reckon. How do you know if Marco Polo made it to China
you call
or
out
not?
his name.
Exactly, but if he's to win the
Marco.
game, he's meant to avoid you.
But he has to say his name, and if you can hear it in China, Polo,
true,
then you know he's
in China.
In China,
Yeah.
Unless someone else is just saying Polo, but that'd be weird.
But someone might have been very far from him, and they're calling out Marco, and they can't hear the Polo.
Yeah,
true.
because China's quite big. I don't know if you know that.
Is it
He
really?
never made it.
There you go.
It's actually, it's pretty, like you could definitely be in two different places in China and not hear each other.
Is
That's
that
for
so?
sure. Yeah.
Was China back then?
Great question.
You know what I mean?
Was
or was
China
it like
China?
many smaller kingdoms sort of
Probably smaller kingdoms. Some of them within earshot and some of them not.
What are we doing?
We're having a great
We're
time.
having a bit of fun.
Having fun with friends.
And everyone's fine.
So here are some theories about how crushed ice that's flavored evolves to gelato, and which a lot of consensus is that this happened in Italy. So there's Sicilian people who are making sorbetto, which is just like kind of water-based sweet ice, and then a fisherman from Sicily creates the first gelato by using snow from Mount Etna to make a creamy dessert that he would sell from his boat while he's sailing around the coastline of Sicily. And then because of the popularity of this, other fishermen start making gelato as well. And it's sort of their competition that sparks the start of this race war to – it's not a race war.
Race war.
Sorry, race / and or war.
Gotcha, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not a race war yet.
It's a race. It's a war. It's not a race war.
No.
Yes.
It's
a man. It's a horse. It's a man. It's not a horseman.
Yeah.
There's a theory that there's a guy called Cosimo Ruggieri, and he's an alchemist, and he works in the court of Catherine Medici. And she later goes on to be the Queen of France when she marries a guy called Henry. And
I think it's probably Henri.
I was literally thinking the exact same thing.
That's what I was thinking. That's why I did a big pause. I was like, I've pronounced that wrong.
That's probably Henri.
Yeah.
Henri.
It's not Henry. It's Henri.
I love how French it changes the words. Like as a kid, there was a tennis player called who I thought was Guy Forget, but it was Guy Forget. But it's G-Y-U Guy Forget F-O-R-G-E-T Guy Forget
G-Y-U.
G-U-Y.
Just double checking. Forget.
Yep. Well, that's what I did, and I accidentally spelled it wrong. But that's better, don't you
That
think?
could have been the spelling, and I was an idiot.
Also, Guy is the kind of name you'd have when you were prone to forgetting you.
Hey, Guy.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Guy.
Forget. But yeah, so there's one theory is that this guy...
Forget.
Cosimo...
Another version of that name would be...
he knows that...
Bro missed my place. bro, where was I again?
Where am I? Oh, yeah, Guy.
Something you should know doing reports on the show. This is the first time you've done one with me here.
No, I'm enjoying it.
It's it sucks, and hopefully it gets fixed. Hopefully it gets fixed in the edit. Please, AJ, make me less tedious.
So, I think the running joke is just a hard break back to the report so far, and then
it works.
Great.
It's kind of the only way to keep it going.
Cosimo Ruggieri, he works for Catherine de Medici, and she has a sweet tooth, and so he creates this flavor, which is we know today as fiore di latte, which means flower of the milk. And he's serving it to her, and it doesn't contain egg or cream. So this is why some people think that this is likely to be the first kind of gelato that's like just milk-based, basically. Just a sweetened milk that he's churning using this kind of icy technology or icy idea that's come from either China or maybe the Arabs brought to Italy. Another theory, which I like, is about Bernardo Buontalenti. And I like it because Buontalenti, it would mean good talent.
Yeah.
So you're bound to do good things.
Yeah.
That's
just nominative determinism.
And he is an architect, an artist, and an engineer, which I would say
he's got good talent.
He's got good talent.
Yeah. He's multi-talented.
He's multi-talented, and that's a good thing.
If he'd be a great contestant on Italy's Good Talent, I think.
Yeah. One of my favourite shows. Italy's Good Talent.
Italy's Good Talent. Well, I think we found him.
Or Italo Buontalent. Anyway, he likes to experiment because he's got good talent. And so he comes up with this recipe for like a richer, creamier kind of ice treat, gelato alla crema, and that he's using egg now. And so this is around 1565 that some of his recipes apparently were first discovered.
Don't you think this is something we could do? Like, we could reinvent the game by going, let's get even more cream in again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what he's done. Why don't we find out whatever the creamiest ice cream is now and go
double it?
Let's see what happens when you just add more cream.
Add more cream.
Let's just freeze cream.
Yeah. And then
don't add anything.
That's right.
I think I could tell you what would happen.
Okay. Now we're on to something.
Okay. Should I call up some shop fronts? Get a space.
Yes.
Get a space.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be huge.
This is going to be huge.
Shop fronts, let's get some vans.
Yeah, okay.
Vans. We're going to need a factory.
We might even be able to drive this around.
Fantastic.
Okay.
We drive it around. We play some music.
I've been looking for somewhere to put this jingle I've come up with.
Uh-huh.
Dun, 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 dun.
That's genius, man. You know what we could do with that?
That almost sounds like medieval.
Yeah. I'm playing on a lute.
Cool.
Yeah.
I reckon we use that.
Okay.
We play that. We drive around with the van. We play.
Dun, 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 dun. And then I was thinking
what
over
do you
the
think,
top.
Jess? Do you think when you hear that immediately, what do you think of?
My mouth is watering.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I could really go a treat.
That would be underneath, and then over the top, I'm just going, ice cream! Ice cream!
Okay.
Come and get your ice cream! Come and get it! Come and get the ice cream!
Okay.
I'm
I'm losing you a little bit with those.
Okay.
But,
no, this is workshopping.
Oh, yeah, no bad ideas.
So your mouth has stopped watering?
Yes.
Yeah,
my mouth is
dry.
dry. My mouth
that's
is
not
dry.
what we want to achieve.
Yeah.
Okay. What about?
Tough biz.
Okay. What about? Yeah, don't worry about what we're up to anyway. It's probably too cool for you.
Huh.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
We're just in this van chilling out, listening to some tunes.
Yeah. Probably better. Yeah, probably better if you don't follow and see what and buy what we got.
Now it's actually feeling like you're about to kidnap me.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, you have gone too far there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's scrap the talking altogether.
Yeah.
Just play the lute.
I think that's good.
So Catherine Medici, she obviously falls in love with this sweetened treat that the Buontalenti has made.
Yep.
And when she goes to marry King, he's not yet the king. He's the Duke of Orleans, but his name is Henri.
Mm-hmm.
Is that old Orleans?
And he's Henri II.
Oh,
he's the second Henri.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I don't think he had a choice in how to pronounce it.
Yeah, it was already locked in.
First one, Henri I might have been like, it's Henry I.
Yeah.
But he went with Henri.
Yep.
Henri.
Henri.
And
yes.
so
He said, you know what? I don't care what letters are in this word. I'm not going to say any of them.
And I'm the first one to do it, so I get to choose. There's a cuneiform, and I'm saying on that, it's Oli. So basically, because of gelato's popularity in Italy, Medici, she loves it. She takes it to France, and that's where France becomes. It started to be being sold in the royal courts there, and it's like if you are a king, if you've got a chef. Because back in those days, it was only the royal courts that had chefs.
Kings aren't doing their own cooking?
Kings aren't doing
You're
their own
joking.
cooking.
Poor, must be nice.
Nah, must be nice.
Must be real nice.
Oh, but don't you think of cooking as a bit of a treat, you know? It's sort of almost like a meditation.
No.
It's like cathartic, yeah.
I don't. I can do it. I don't enjoy it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You are a king. That means you're
I
a
am
king.
a king. I am a king.
There is one king who still does his own cooking, and he is the Burger King.
I wouldn't call that cooking.
No, that's true.
I was so sure you're going to say Jamie Oliver or something like
I
that.
thought you were going to say yourself or something. You know? And I was like, that's cute. Burger King's very funny. That's good stuff. Write that down.
What's the angry chef called?
Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay. I thought you were going to say Gordon Ramsay. Or Huey.
Huey.
Louis and the News.
No.
Oh.
Big Huey.
Huey's Cooking Adventures.
Huey's Cooking Adventures.
yeah.
Never trust a skinny chef.
He's an angry guy, apparently.
Is he?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
I do not believe it.
I feel it's like an Ellen DeGeneres level
I
kind of scandal.
refuse to believe
No.
that. La 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 la. I will
Not
not
Huey.
hear this said about Huey.
Well, you both
Arnie
have
Donna
good
used
instincts
to-
because I just made that up.
I think Arnie Donna used to. Their old rehearsal space was rented
His old
off
studio?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
his
wow.
studio, and I think it still had his signage up and stuff.
That's amazing.
Yeah, Arnie Donna and Big Huey.
So they just left it in that he had his own studio. No one was using it for years.
Am I thinking that right? I remember you went there. Didn't we go there to see a rehearsal, like a dry run of something or
I
something?
don't think so.
I might have made all of that up then.
Wow.
Because in my head, Jess was in that memory.
No. But much like Dave Soul is always with us.
Yes.
I am actually in all of your memories.
Yeah, I put you in post.
Yeah, that's right.
So in France, thanks to the Queen of France, Catherine, ice cream has taken off a little bit, or gelato, sorry. And then a little later on in the 1600s, French King Louis XIV.
So many Louis.
There are so many Louis. He's not even. That's early Louis.
Right.
14 is like early Louis. I think eventually you get into like the 20s.
Really?
I think so.
I've got a friend Louis now. Isn't that crazy?
What number?
I feel like you don't.
They stopped counting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know what number he is.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you don't hear Louis as much in modern times.
No.
I feel.
Yeah, I was at the dog park the other day. There was a Louis.
Okay,
Yeah,
it might have
right.
been him.
It was a Cocker Spaniel.
He is a dog, yeah.
I think that's how names evolve. They get retired from humans eventually
Yeah.
and they become dog names.
Once you hit too many count, we can't keep count anymore.
Yeah.
We're like, let's give it to a dog.
It's like dog years,
Yeah.
human names. It's all the same.
So, absolutely right.
Yeah.
You know, back in like I think it was probably the 20s, 30s, a lot of men called Goose.
Yeah.
You don't see a man named Goose anymore.
No.
My dog's name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Rex.
been retired. It'll come back.
You don't hear any Rexes anymore. That's
My
a dog's name.
family GP is a Rex.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Because he's the
Rex.
last one.
Yeah, he's the last one.
Rex Hunt. Him and Rex Hunt.
He's 400 years old.
How good is this?
My GP when I lived in Sydney, his name was Lex.
Lex.
Yeah.
And you trusted him?
Well, his name was Lex Bilson, which is a private eye name,
Yes.
Yeah.
not a GP
Not
name.
a GP.
But he was very good at asking questions.
Okay.
Lex. Well,
He was
Alexi
a private eye.
Toliopoulos.
Oh, yeah.
Very trustworthy.
That's true. And I do call him Lex sometimes.
Hmm.
This is so confusing. Anyway, sorry, we keep interrupting you.
No, it's beautiful.
It's not.
Hey, Suren, please do go on.
We're going to shut up for a bit.
Okay, so this guy who is he's like the chef guy in French King Louis XIV's court. He becomes renowned for making this great gelato and serving the frozen delicacy in these royal courts and these big banquets. And his name's Francesco Procopio. He's a Sicilian chef. And I think part of the reason Louis brings him into the court is because the Sicilians, they've been making this gelato.
Right.
And gelato is popular in France, but no one's making it quite as well as the Sicilians. So Procopio, in 1684, he opens Paris's oldest cafe, which is called Café Procope.
It was the oldest when he opened it.
Yeah. But that also technically is true, probably.
Yeah, it's a funny way of saying
Sounds
the first
funny,
cafe.
but it is. You mock it.
Or it's the oldest still running.
It's like the first cafe.
First ever cafe.
Yeah, first
That's
ever
awesome.
cafe in 1684. And it's like for refined gentlemen from the court.
Oh,
from
great.
Louis
so I could
XIV.
go there. That's
Oh,
fantastic.
but I can't. I love a cafe.
You're not refined.
You're not refined.
You might be a gentleman.
Get fucked. I am refined.
No, you've just proved it there.
What?
Yeah. Your tone.
Oh, come on.
Your tone was not refined.
Guess what would happen there? People would have intellectual conversations.
Yes, just like cafes now.
Yeah. So it's revolutionary for its time, but it's quite normal now. But he would serve coffee instead of wine. I guess that's what makes it a cafe.
Yep, because cafe just
And-
means coffee.
And also, because he's a gelato guy, his crowning jewel is gelato, and it's all the elite are coming here. People like Voltaire, who runs just a comedy night.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
North
comedy
Melbourne.
room
Corner.
in North Melbourne. But yeah, he also, I think we learn about him in a recent Lotto episode. I think his whole career, he found a loophole in a lotto and made a fortune, and his whole career was funded by that.
Oh my God.
Lotto loophole.
Wow! So he's like the David Walsh.
Yeah, that's right. Gambling system.
Beautiful. Because
David Walsh being
the Mona.
the moment, yeah. for the
Museum
listeners
of
more
New
for-
Art in
I knew
Hobart.
that. Oh, I did. I swear. Why are you looking at me like that? Just I knew.
And he keeps finding loopholes. I think he still just
Yeah, got
lives
a system.
off gambling.
Figured
Yeah.
out a system.
I
I hope that museum survives him. You know what I mean? Like if it is being funded by this one guy gambling, what happens afterwards? I'm sure they've thought of that.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Probably.
Although I think it's getting to the point, and this is not part of the report, but
Okay.
where they're like, I don't know, this guy should be. We let this guy pay no tax from his gambling system because he was giving back to the city of Hobart with this museum. But now it's like we would have made so much more money if we just made him pay tax.
Oh.
So I think they're trying to crack down on, which will be an interesting development for that museum.
Well, but also a real opportunity for another state to take him on tax-free. Bring
Mona to Victoria.
uproot this underground museum and bring
Shouldn't be
it.
too hard.
Yeah, chuck it in Docklands.
We got space for it.
Yeah.
So one thing I should have pointed out, by the way, which I forgot to, but it's kind of obvious, is that we're in the 1600s. It's still like very difficult to store or obtain ice.
Still don't have freezers.
So this guy Procopio, he's serving this gelato in his cafe. It's still truly a novelty, and that's why there's like people. Yeah, I don't know who Rousseau is, but Voltaire's there. There's like French luminaries that come in. This is big. It's like a huge part in French culture in Paris, and this cafe really popularizes gelato throughout France.
That's interesting. I don't connect France with a gelato or ice cream or anything. I think of it as like a really Italian thing, but it sounds like it was instrumental in its popularization.
Yeah. Because of what happens next, which is, again, there's more conjecture about this, but essentially the English would never admit to it because they don't like to claim anything from France.
They don't like claiming anything at all from other countries.
No. But King Charles I, it becomes obsessed with ice cream, and it's like, where would he have got it from?
Yeah.
It's just across
"I
the
thought
channel."
It was just, it was, what do you call it? Parallel thinking.
Yeah, so that's what the English would claim. Is we just came up with the idea, and because of the history of it makes sense if you put some sort of sweet flavoring with ice. People seem to fucking love it.
Yeah.
So that's their claim. It's like,
But
we
they're
just
also
came up with this ourselves.
They were super linked. Like a lot of the kings of England were
they're all
French.
intermarrying,
Yeah.
and it is like, well, these guys in their royal courts are impressing people with this gelato.
Yeah.
Well, I want to do that too. So
it's like, the first time he's there, he's like, oh, this is interesting. Yeah, I love it. It's actually very similar to what I've also come up with.
Yeah, it's so interesting.
Interesting, yeah.
Mine's better, obviously, but very similar.
It's a great start.
How do you make this? Just to see if I make it the same?
Yeah, that's how I used to make it. I've developed a little further than that. I put double the cream in.
Yeah. It's going to be big.
Yeah, how much cream do you put in? Yeah, I put double that.
I put double that.
I put double that, so that's interesting. Mine's, I guess, better, but it's okay.
Twice as good.
But thank you for this. It's so nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's great. It takes me back to when I was starting out.
So King Charles I, he's obsessed with it. He starts paying a pension of £500 a year to a guy to be his personal ice cream maker.
Oh.
And part of the £500, which would have been so much money back, I guess, then, is and now. But part of it is to make sure that this guy keeps the recipe secret.
Oh.
Because King Charles wants to be the only person who has it. There were banquets, there's records of banquets where King Charles is hosting people, and it's like only the table, I guess to me, I envisage it a bit like a wedding scenario where there's a there's a table at the very front of the banquet, which is all the real royal people.
Yeah.
And they're the only people eating actual gelato, and the rest of the people are just watching on in like hushed
watching
tones.
them eat gelato.
Yeah. And they have their own little dessert treats, whatever they would have, but the gelato was preserved for that banquet table. He wouldn't let anyone have
now
the
you
recipe.
can just get a tub of it and put it in your freezer at home.
Yeah. I've
just had a look. So Charles is from the House of Stuart. So one of my ancestors, and even though he spells his name different, doesn't matter. That's just the French. That's actually the French influence. But he married Henrietta Maria of France. So he's like, I have no connection. What? How would I have figured that out? That France is doing this? Oh, you think I talked to my wife?
We have separate wings.
Yeah.
Okay.
She feeds me.
Apart from hello on our wedding day, nothing.
And maybe at our honeymoon.
Yeah.
I had a frozen treat.
Yeah, okay. Sure, maybe I had a little taste.
What of it? What happens on the honeymoon stays on the honeymoon.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Move on.
God.
That's private.
Rude.
Get over it.
Jeez. Gosh. God. Jeez, leave us alone.
At this point in time, there was like a big wooden box that they would like put in the cream and the ice into, and then you'd have to sort of hand crank it to make a
just like Charles on his honeymoon night.
But so it's still very impractical. Rich people are starting to build ice houses at this time, and they're like to store ice, but it's pretty much the common man does not have any means of storing ice still by this time. Jump forward a little bit to the 1800s as technology allows people to store ice a little bit more economically in their homes. Ice cream is like, of course, people are going to start desiring it to have it available in their homes.
We're talking Fisher and Paykel? Before Ben and Jerry could walk, Fisher and Paykel had to crawl.
They had to crawl. And one of the great early comedy duos, Fisher and Paykel. I think
Fisher,
it was Hall and Oates.
One of the great straight men.
Yeah.
Hall and Oates and Fisher and Paykel.
Yeah.
Hall and Oates, they were so good.
They headlined the very first Melbourne International Comedy Festival.
Man-Eater is one of the funniest songs. She's a man-eater?
Yeah.
What?
Really? Just by herself?
That's so funny.
A whole
man.
A whole man.
That is really good.
Over a few nights or...
Make your over a few nights. It's a leftovers man-eater.
Man-eater.
Her eyes bigger than her stomach, trying to eat the man, including scum. Man-eater.
Remember when we said we'd shut up for a bit?
Didn't we?
True.
Let's get to the 1800s. Let's jump forward in time to the 1800s. Ice cream is a bit more readily available. It's still not like something you can easily get at home, but they now have like carts. People, like a lot of kind of Italian migrants and stuff, know the recipe. They can get ice. Like if you're on a commercial scale, you can get access to ice. Again, it would be like people are going to Canada or in Canada, they're harvesting ice, and then they've got the technology enough to keep it cool on ships. They basically put like straw and hay over the ice, which helps to absorb some of the heat and stops it from melting. And so then they're shipping ice over to London, places like London and New York, and vendors are getting the ice and using it to make ice cream in basically, those machines which are like wooden boxes, and they're hand cranking the ice cream.
Oh my God.
By that time, so mid-1800s, people, you can buy ice cream on the street, but
in a cone?
It's not yet in a cone.
Oh. Are you going to reveal who came up with the cone?
I am.
And if it was Mr. Whippy?
It's exciting.
Mr. Whippy, that's a great name for our van.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know where that
fantastic
just
idea.
Popped into my head. That's fantastic.
I guess it would
Mr.
make the most sense if we whipped the cream.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
No one's doing that, surely.
Yeah.
So we double whip, double cream.
Double whip, double
cream, frozen, and then put it in a cone. Oh, maybe we could like make it kind of like look pretty, like it's got like a bit of a twirl to it or something.
A twirl.
Yeah. What are we going to make the cones out of? Paper?
Wait for it. I'll get to it. So we're in the mid-1800s.
He's good.
That is good stuff.
Should we get rid of Dave?
That's something we should do in the future.
Yeah, we should think about doing.
Yeah, we should start
in the
process
future.
of thinking about getting rid of Dave.
People, they have these things called penny licks. Have you heard of these?
Penny licks.
Yeah. I've heard of $2 peeps. Is it similar to that?
I don't know.
Yeah, but it's less something you do with your eyes and more with your tongue.
Ah.
And it only costs a penny. Would have thought it'd be more expensive.
In for a penny to watch someone pound.
Okay.
That's nice.
That confirms it. Dave is gone.
So a penny lick, basically what it is these people, these vendors on the street, we didn't have cones yet. We didn't have easy access to like a disposable cup. Mm-hmm. So they had glass, basically a small glass that they would serve the ice cream in. And this is in London and in the States in like the early 19th century. And what they would do is you would buy for 1 penny the ice cream, but you would have to return the glass, which is like a thick little glass base in a small glass, and there's a shallow kind of thing with the ice cream on top.
Right.
And it's a bit of an optical illusion. It looks like more ice cream than it actually is.
Yeah.
But you lick it clean. There's not even a spoon situation.
Yeah.
You're just licking
they didn't think
the
of
ice cream.
Spoons. Fucking hell.
And then you have to return the glass to the vendor.
So you stay nearby.
Yeah,
so
you're consuming it there.
You take 2 steps away, maintain eye contact, lick this little glass clean.
I mean, it's basically what we do at a pub, you know?
True.
Yeah, it's true.
I lick my beers clean.
Yeah.
And then return the glass.
While making eye contact with the bartender.
Yeah.
So it's a penny lick for you and a peep show for the vendor. They get to
Win-win.
watch you sort of.
They're getting paid to peep?
That's
the dream.
And what's happening is people are like, some people are walking off with the glasses. Some people, they're dropping them and they're breaking them. And
So it's much
made
like
of
a pub.
glass.
Yep.
But
They're hitting each other over the head with them after getting these sugar highs.
something far worse is happening, okay?
Oh, no.
And in an incident in 1854, there's like a festival in Massachusetts, Beverly, Massachusetts.
Beautiful.
Okay.
And a number of people fall ill after they've eaten some pineapple-flavored ice cream. Okay. And the doctors at the time are blaming this and some other incidents of people eating at these penny licks and getting sick. They think it's because of the preservatives that they're putting in.
Not the sharing.
Oh my God.
Not everyone licking the same bit of glass.
Yeah. So they think it's because of this butyric ether that they're putting in it to preserve it. They get that from like rancid butter. They get this compound from rancid butter and they're putting it into the ice cream. As the butter's already gone rancid, maybe it will help preserve the ice cream. They're using dyes to colour the ice cream, and people are thinking that it's like arsenic or whatever that is making them sick. So,
but in the end, it turns out it's just the combination of pineapple and ice cream. Yuck.
No good.
What is that?
Basically, they stop using these additives, but people are still getting sick. They think maybe it's the vanilla. Maybe we're allergic to vanilla.
People are still going to eat there?
Humans are allergic to vanilla. We know that to be true. It's funny, like you watch a period drama and they kind of like you do go, fuck, we've come pretty far, haven't we? Like they just the things they don't know how to do, or the people are dying of the most basic things, or
it'll be the same looking back in 200 years.
Oh yeah.
Assuming that, humanity exists, they're going to be like, can you believe it that they didn't know how to just they just had to teleport and to cure themselves from the flu, they just had to like punch themselves in the chin.
Yeah, they just had to spin around 3 times clockwise. Oh my God, so cute.
So silly.
People got really sick from the flu back then.
They were injecting little flus into their body.
Yeah.
It was wild.
They could have just spun around.
They should have known. Leeches. It all comes back around.
Yeah.
Leeches actually did solve everything.
Yeah.
Hi, it's Mark Bittman from Food with Mark Bittman. Friends, a word from the folks at Whole Foods Market. Customers love shopping at Whole Foods Market on holidays like Thanksgiving and Mother's Day. But the fact is there are lots of ways to save on quality items every day at Whole Foods Market. Here are some of them. You can see the savings for yourself because Whole Foods Market has great everyday prices on customer favorites like responsibly farmed salmon, no antibiotics ever chicken breasts, organic strawberries, organic blueberries, and more. And you don't have to sacrifice quality to save. There are so many ways to save at Whole Foods Market, and now you know.
This podcast is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online. Whether it's your first ever website or your business is expanding, Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website and engage with your audience.
Sell exclusive content on your site by adding a paywall to sell memberships or courses, or sell files your customers can download like PDFs, musics, or ebooks. And yes, I said musics. That's the plural of music. Also, where I come from.
Also, books.
Okay, well, that's the plural of ebook. Dave, very quickly, what if you had to make an ebook? What would it be about?
From A to E, the best ebook there is.
God, he's good.
He's good. I put him on the spot there. People are going to think that was in a script.
It wasn't. That was improv.
But if I did need it to be scripted, I'd probably consult the good people at Squarespace AI, because you can get help with written content on your website with this fantastic feature, Squarespace AI. Generate instant personalized results that highlight your brand identity. What you do is you explain what your site is about, choose your tone, and enter what you need to get short or long form text. Bada bing, bada boom, Squarespace AI makes it easy to go live, stand out, and succeed online.
Can I just double check what identity means? And I only asked because you gave it to me before.
Yeah. All right, we'll read about it in my new Ease book.
Hey, Squarespace also has the tools you need to create and sell your own online course and customize everything with next generation editing technology. Create engaging lessons your audiences will love, then set the price in that order. You can charge a one-time fee or sell subscriptions. Take what you know and turn it into income with Squarespace courses.
Okay, Matt, on the spot, what course are you teaching?
Spaghetti.
Okay.
I'm signing up.
Head to squarespace.com/dogoon for a free trial and to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com/dogoon. Spaghetti.
Some people thought they were getting poisoned because of overeating.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like violating the laws of decency and digestion as these festivals.
It's morality.
There's a quote from a doctor, and he says, "Every fellow takes particular delight in gorging himself and his best girl, not only with ice cream, cake, and candy, but with every variety of indigestible substance."
Jess, you're my best girl.
Thank you.
What a funny phrase.
Yeah.
Loves to.
It would have been nice
girl.
if you were sitting next to each other and you could have put your,
Yeah.
your little fingers out.
That's 100% when we would have touched hands, yes.
You're my best girl.
Yeah. And I would have said, you're not my best boy. But
So it's quite funny, though, that these ice cream, that's like people are panicking at this. Like today, our concerns is AI going to be the end of us? But, in society in the 1800s, they had problems like ice cream, overeating.
But
which
you're
isn't
right.
a problem anymore.
They think the problem is in the ice cream, but people are still eating it.
You're like, are you happy just to continue to be in the guinea pigs here?
Yeah. The problem is the bacteria from multiple other strangers' disgusting mouths.
And we have found that the first person we eat each day doesn't get
they're
sick,
fine.
but they get increasingly more sick as the day
Well,
goes
do you
on.
think they're washing the glasses ever?
Yeah, is this before detergent?
I think they're probably giving it a little rinse.
That's not enough.
Yeah.
It depends on how hot the water is. Is it really hot?
But I reckon what happens is when you go to eat the penny lick or you purchase the penny lick, the person who has ate it before you has nicked off.
Yes.
Because they had to maintain eye contact with the vendor for so long. As soon as they're done, they're out. Getting straight out of there.
Yeah.
So there would not even a trace. You think you're the first person.
Oh,
Every
true.
person thought they were the first person.
4 o'clock in the afternoon, you think you're the first one. Nah, mate, you're kidding yourself.
You got real main character syndrome. What's that called,
Main
actually?
character energy.
Main character syndrome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got that.
Yeah.
I reckon. Well, I mean, you get into an Uber. Do you think about the person who was sitting in there just before you?
Just farting up a storm before you?
You do when you catch one like we did in Sydney, and
we licked the walls.
No, remember there were the windows.
Oh yeah, the Post-it notes.
There was a driver who had different coloured Post-it note pads and encouraged you to write messages, and they were just like all on the inside of the car.
So you couldn't see out of
Couldn't
the
see out
windows?
the car, no.
Okay, yeah, it's not a safe.
Sydney's not a very pretty place. You don't
He
really need
asked
to
us
have a
to
look.
put it on the windshield as well, the front windshield.
No.
Over his eyes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but you're correct, Jess. Basically what's happened is that it is the bacteria of other people licking these licky cups.
Because our mouths are gross.
They're disgusting.
Mouths are disgusting.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to say ours. Yours is, sure.
Yours is.
Mine
Yours
is
is
not.
pristine. Yeah, I know. I'm very jealous. I have a disgusting mouth.
Yeah, my mouth is.
Yours is perfect.
You gargle betadine every 10 minutes.
Yeah, every 10 minutes.
We have to stop recording every 10 minutes so Matt can gargle.
Well, the main reason is because I just never know when our queen, Elizabeth II, is going to come visit.
That's right.
And I need my mouth to be ready for a queen's visit at any moment.
That's right.
So that's the reason.
Any day now, she's going to come.
How do you intend to greet the queen
She's going to come in my
when
mouth.
she comes?
Well, I don't know, open mouth kiss,
Well, as is customary.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what you have to do when you greet a queen is close your eyes while you're still quite far away from her and just go
Yeah.
And wait.
for quite a
And
while
lean.
and hope that your mouths connect.
Yeah.
You have to close your eyes early, though. It's rude otherwise.
Yes.
And then after it, you're not allowed to make some sort of judgment about whether or not it was the queen.
No, that would be uncouth.
You have to keep your eyes closed until the Royal Highness has left
That's
the
correct.
room.
Yep.
And then you can open your eyes.
Yeah. And then every now and then you got corgied. she's a prankster.
She's a prankster.
Well,
She's a prankster.
she's got this is a long process. It's quite a cumbersome sort of routine and ritual.
Yeah.
So sometimes if she has 8 people to meet, she'll meet one of them, and the other 7 she'll send in.
Yeah, send in the corgis.
7 corgis.
Yep.
Send in the corgis.
It's a bit like Russian roulette, but it's the British version.
Yeah.
You get to
Yeah.
snog the queen, or
instead of the one bullet, there's 7 empty chambers.
Yeah.
We're talking an 8-shooter.
there's 8 shooters.
Corgi kisses.
But because of the penny lick, people getting poisoned, this leads to what you asked about before, Matt, the invention of
Fisher and Paykel.
the cone.
Oh, the cone.
Oh, the cone. Yes. We're not even up to the fridge yet.
Yeah.
That's really so. It was invented as a disposable receptacle,
Yeah.
edible receptacle.
Which
Wow.
you might think that the cone came after the cup, but the little paper cups that you get when you get gelato.
That was after the cone.
Yeah, that was actually
That's
after the
interesting.
cone. Okay, so the story begins on Wall Street in Manhattan. This guy's name is Macchioni. He's another Italian. He's a resident of Hoboken, and he's working.
That feels so perfect. Hoboken. Macchioni. I live in Hoboken.
Well, he's like a pushcart vendor, and he's serving ice cream to his fellow New Yorkites, and they used to call out the Italian vendors in New York when they were pushing the carts. They used to call out "Ecco un poco," and so they got the nickname "Hokey Pokey Men." A little bit of casual racism there.
Oh,
I guess, I don't know, but hokey pokey, because people couldn't understand what they were saying.
That's where the hokey pokey. That's what the hokey pokey is all about.
Yeah, and the ecco un poco means here's a little. So that's what
Yeah.
they were
Cool.
calling it.
So-
Here's a little.
Hokey pokey is like a weird old dance, but it's also, isn't it? It's a flavor of ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was the flavor of ice cream first before people were doing the hokey pokey? Is that a common song dance thing?
I reckon the
As
song
kids?
probably came first. That's my guess.
But the song is instructing you how to dance. Probably came at the same time. You put
Yeah.
your left down in, you did the bump, you did the dun, 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 and you shake it all about. You do the money.
According to Google, that song was released in 1993.
Okay.
That can't be right.
That can't be right. But that is around the time that I would have been hearing it.
Matt's as old as the wind, and he would have heard it as a child. It's been around for a long time.
Did you say 1993? I thought you said 1993 BC.
So this guy Marchione, he's very important
Yes.
to our story because he's tired. He gets frustrated with people dropping the glass and breaking it and
They're
walking
still
off with
doing
it.
glass.
And also, by this time in London, it's been banned because of fears of like cholera and whatnot. And so Marchione, he basically he spends his nights coming up with the idea of using like pastry as a form or a vessel. And he figures out that if you get a waffle and you roll it up and you shape it into a thing, when it cools, it'll be kind of hard and can hold ice cream. He hasn't yet figured out that it will hold ice cream, but he's been playing around with waffles and he's like been playing around with that.
Yum.
Then he starts selling ice cream at the St. Louis World Fair.
Man, World
Have you
Fairs.
heard of the Louisiana Purchase or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The World Fairs are how so many big things have started. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Like the Eiffel Tower was
World
launched
Fair,
at one,
yeah,
and
that's true.
and all sorts of things. But there is, yes, is this the story where there was a waffle guy next to it, but that's been debunked, has it, or that is real?
Well, so there is a story. The cone is attributed to a guy called Ernest A. Humwe, who's like a Syrian migrant to the US, and he's at the St. Louis World Fair, and he's selling waffles. Basically, it's like a Syrian version of a waffle. It's called a zalabi, which is kind of, if you look at it, it looks like a flat waffle.
Yeah.
Like a thin, long waffle rather than like the shape that you'd imagine. But it's pretty much the same thing. It's like got the ridges and it's texturally the same.
I am hungry.
Yeah.
Yum.
He's selling them. They're crisp pastries, and the booth next to him is an ice cream vendor, and there's queues going out the wazoo for this ice cream. People are loving it, and he's like unable to basically keep up with the demand because the queues are going so long. He's running out of vessels to serve it in, and then this ice cream vendor turns to the waffle man next to him, who's El Humwe, and asks him if he can have one of the waffles, and he rolls it up because he's already been experimenting with the waffles.
Yeah.
And he does that. It sets pretty quickly, and then he scoops in the ice cream to it. And then, so basically they start teaming up, and Humwe, people start buying the waffles, people start putting ice cream in it, and then that's the origins of the ice cream cone.
Yum.
And that's true?
Well, so...
Because I swear I've heard that, and then also someone being like, actually that is apocryphal or whatever.
According to gelatoman.com,
Okay.
what
Gospel.
happened is that the person who was selling the ice cream was never credited in that story. So people talk about St. Louis and the St. Louis World Fair as the origins of the ice cream cone, but they accredit it to the waffle man. And then the daughter of, or like granddaughter, I think, of Marchione, she was looking into it because she found all these records of her dad that he had like been experimenting, because he was a bit of a technician as well. He was also a buon talenti. He was a good talent. He'd experimented with like different molds to make waffles or pastry cones, basically, and she found little records in his house of sketches of how to like create these molds that you could put it in so you could mass produce cones. And then she was researching it, and she found out that he actually was at the St. Louis World's Fair. So her conjecture is that he was the mystery ice cream man next to Ernest A. Humwee. And because he'd already been playing around with the idea of using pastry to set and have as a cone, that basically you could walk away. You could take the ice cream with you. You didn't have to lick it and return the glass. Because he was the one flirting with that idea, she reckons he was the mystery ice cream man that was next to the Syrian guy.
That would make sense.
So they basically came up with it together, and then from that, word spread that you can use pastry as a vessel for the ice cream, and so St. Louis, other businessmen in St. Louis got onto it, and then they basically took that idea and patented. Because also this guy, Marchione, is the first guy to have a patent for ice cream cones.
Right.
So it does make sense that he, unless it's another case of parallel thinking, but it kind of makes sense that he was the one who was next to this waffle maker at the St. Louis World Fair.
Yeah, right. And that changed everything. They make everything edible now.
Yeah. You can sometimes they make spoons. Heston Blumenthal.
Yeah. Waffle spoons.
Yeah.
Waffle hats.
Yep.
You wear a hat for a day.
Fairy
sun
bird
goes
hats.
down. Eat your hat. That's where the saying, I'll eat my hat comes from. When someone wants to say that something's unlikely, but it's been changed over the years.
Yeah, because now it is more likely.
Yeah.
Because they make
waffle hats.
Yeah, waffle hats. I'm going to jump ahead now to the 1940s.
Whoa.
If that's all right with you.
That's fine.
So before the Great Depression, just for a bit of context, by this stage, ice cream's becoming very much associated with well-being, not health and well-being, but with
wealth.
Yeah, wealth, but also just general happiness and mood. So in the Prohibition era, it's alcohol gets banned, and then a lot of those alcohol companies pivot towards making ice cream because they see that the customer base will they can't drink alcohol as escapism, but the next best thing is ice cream. And they have sugar, and they have a lot of the key ingredients. And then they had access to bottle making stuff as well. So they basically started selling bottles of ice cream. But it was people would then consume ice cream as their.
That's interesting. I've had a few long stints off booze, and I did find, without thinking about it, next time I do it, I'll try and keep on top of it. But I did find that I was eating more chocolate and treats and stuff instead, without thinking about it. I was like, that's weird. But that's probably why you're sort of craving a different kind of escapism or different kinds of treats.
Yeah, some sort of just to treat yourself when the world's hard. That's actually the flavour of ice cream known as Rocky Road, which was two vendors. They were serving ice cream, and they just back then it was still standard kind of flavours like vanilla or bases, maybe chocolate. There wasn't so much there wasn't so much toppings that you could put on it. But a couple of guys at a stall, they started chopping up nuts and marshmallows and putting it into it, and they noticed how much joy it was bringing people, and they were like, hey, this is, life's a bit of a rocky road.
Really?
Yeah, so the name comes from this is your escape, this is your relief.
Man, some of these facts are sounding like maybe AI wrote them for the Gelati Man.
Do you know how I wish I got AI to write this report, because I had to go to a lot of different gelato websites. By the time we get to the 1940s, because ice cream in the States in particular is so tied to happiness and good times and a celebration of, not just wealth, but prosperity as a nation, we can enjoy our ice cream. Who would you say in 1943 is the biggest producer of ice cream?
Oh, this is towards the end of Second World War. Is it going to be
43?
43.
So before the end of them.
Oh, yeah, coming towards the end of it. So I'm guessing, is it going to be Hitler or something?
I know, that's what I'm worried about.
Because it's I know there was something with Fanta was some sort of
true.
A Nazi recipe or something like that?
Something because they couldn't get Coke or something like that.
Yeah.
Or they didn't want an American or something.
It's funny, anytime you hear anything around the time of World War II, you're is it going to be Nazis? Is it going to be Nazis? Is it Nazis, Suren?
No.
Thank God.
You'll be pleased to know it's not Nazis.
Who is it?
It's The United States Armed Forces.
Okay.
Really?
We're in the ballpark.
Yeah.
Were they not busy doing other stuff?
Well, this is the thing. So around the time...
When I say the ballpark, I'm not suggesting that the American Armed Forces are
They were in
nuts.
cahoots.
I'm just meaning, a war thing.
A wartime thing. So around the time of World War I, the military had a very sustenance-based approach to food, and they are providing rations to their soldiers based on calories. This is like, you got a job to do, we're going to give you the best diet to help you do this job.
Yeah.
And there's no emphasis on taste or morale. It's all what is available, and we'll give you that. There's like shortages as well going on in World War I, Depression era, where sugar is hard to get your hands on. It's hard to the dairy industry's hit by the Great Depression, and so they actually, some countries like Britain and even in the US, like ice cream becomes illegal because they reckon they've got to use sugar for more important
Illegal
purposes.
feels a bit far, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Ice cream's illegal.
And now we can just go down to the
Now you can
supermarket.
there's a supermarket across the street.
There's a whole aisle.
I can go get 8 tubs of it.
And that's, no one's policing that.
No one's policing that.
You could go as a 2-year-old and buy 8 tubs.
I can do whatever the fuck I want with those 8 tubs too. I could throw them straight in the bin.
You could
I could throw them at cars.
Throw them at cops.
That's probably illegal.
That's probably
okay, that
illegal.
might be illegal.
I've gone too far.
But you've found where the line
You're on a
is.
sugar high.
I'm excited. I ate 2 of the tubs, and now I'm losing my mind a little bit.
You're wearing one of the empty tubs on your head.
It's not quite empty. It's all over me.
I thought this hat would be edible. Basically, what happens by World War II is that the ice cream industry and the medical industry, they jump into bed together. They're in cahoots. And they start pushing for hospitals to provide ice cream to wounded soldiers because they're like, hey, this is about morale. These guys are representing our nation on the front lines. Now they're hurt and we want to nurse them back to health, not only physically, but also psychologically. So the medical industry are also like, hey, let's get ice cream in here.
Interesting. That does feel like a bit of a hospital cliche, jelly and ice cream. Is that a thing? Definitely jelly, right?
Jelly in a hospital for sure. But
Yeah.
growing up, we definitely had jelly and ice cream.
Yeah.
Grandma's house.
Yeah. Frog in the pond.
Aeroplane jelly.
I hated frog in a
like
pond
aeroplane jelly.
because it made the frog weird.
Yeah, mate, it was a weird
the bottom
combo.
half of the frog was weird.
Yes.
I like the idea of them.
Yeah,
I like the
cute,
look of
fun
them.
look, but I hated
I
eating
like the
chocolate.
individual elements.
Agreed.
But yeah, together.
I'll have them separate.
Yeah.
Can I have my frog on the side, please?
Yeah.
Can my frog be hanging out next to a pond?
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
I'm
Also,
fine with that.
now that you've referred to this as a pond, I am wondering why it's so red.
Why is it so?
What's been going on at the bottom of this pond? There's a shark been...
Well,
Your
the frogs-
nana wasn't doing green jelly for your frog in the pond? Jesus.
Or blue, but at least green.
Yeah, red. Was your
What?
nana a Satanist?
Nana's going for fucking port wine flavour for frog in a pond.
Nana had a good taste.
One for me, one for Nana.
I like my-
Wait, what?
I like my-
And that's me being Nana. One for me, she's sipping the port, and one
One
for
for
Nana.
Nana, another one.
No, but I do like my wine red, my grapes green, and my jelly port.
Okay, I'm writing that down. Okay. So I can bring your favourite jelly to the next dinner party.
So
Sans
once
frog.
Sans frog.
Sans frog.
do you know what the English, when they banned because of the sugar shortage, do you know what they replaced ice cream with?
Oh, probably fucking a cup of tea or something.
Mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes.
Not far off. Carrots on a stick.
Carrots on a stick.
Yeah, so it's
Carrots are
both
a
the
stick.
incentive and the punishment in the one.
We're using a carrot and a stick.
What do you mean?
And we don't really know if this is a reward or a punishment.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Like a toothpick stick?
Well, they would. Yeah, I guess so. They,
or like an
no,
ice
it's like
cream
they
stick.
would put the carrot on a stick so you could pretend you're enjoying the experience of
yeah, it's
having
out in
an
front
ice
of you.
cream.
You're always going towards the
because
carrot.
carrot's such a difficult thing to eat with your hands.
Yes.
Yeah, if only it came in stick form. Wow, we've got an idea for you.
You can't finish the whole carrot if you've touched some of it.
True.
Well, yeah, they're finally nhưng up. Someone's got to lick. They licked it all the way down to the stick.
To a
You got to
nub.
return the stick.
But when America entered World War II, because ice cream's so big in the States and so tied to happiness, they take ice cream with them. The Navy spends $1 million to convert a barge. This is the 40s, $1 million in the 40s. They convert a barge into an ice cream factory.
What
and then
the
they
fuck?
start towing it around the Pacific Ocean and delivering ice cream to the different battleships.
Oh.
And it's like, this is, you know.
That's the first Mr. Whippy, which is our idea.
Yeah, but they're probably playing the song in Morse code.
Yeah.
Dot, dot, dash. I don't know why they say it like that. It's just a guy on a microphone going, dot, dot, dash, dash, dot, 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 dash, dash, dot, 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 dash, dash, dot, 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 dash. What do we got? Dash, dash. Dot, dot, dash, dash, dot, dot.
Why is it Guido Hatzis?
Dash, dot, 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 dash, dot.
It's Con the Fruiterer.
Not Con the Fruiterer. This is my great. This is my Swiss Italian.
Oh yes, heritage. Yeah,
coming out. That's how they talk. Is that comical to you, Suren? Because that's actually very close to starting a race war.
Dash, dash, dot, 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 dash.
You can't do it, Suren. You can't do it.
You don't know who I'm doing. I'm doing my Nana.
Oh.
And that's her doing Morse code for the Pond's Red.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the Army constructed basically mini ice cream factories on the front lines as well. So the Navy, they're all getting in on it. The Navy, the Army, the Navy's doing the battleships that are converted to ice cream factories.
Wild.
The Army are making their own little on front lines. They're getting cartons of ice cream and they're delivering them to soldiers who are in their foxholes. Because it's like you're sacrificing, putting your life on the line for the country. We're going to give you ice cream. The Navy even had one ship called the USS Lexington that was like full of ice cream in the freezers. They had all this ice cream in the freezers, and when it got struck by a Japanese torpedo, it's like the torpedo hit the USS Lexington. It doesn't just explode like in the movies. It's sort of like slowly sinking. And the procedure, the sailors all knew what the procedure was to abandon the ship, but before they did, they went into the freezers and they took all the ice cream and then they jumped into the
That's
sea.
why they have to say on airplanes now, please leave your bags behind.
Yeah.
Because people used to grab all their ice creams.
Yeah. And in the overhead compartment, it probably stays quite cool.
Yeah.
But it's funny that you said that because we moved to the next thing, which is that the Air Force, they didn't want to be left out. The Navy's doing it. The Army's doing it. The Air Force, they figured out that if you've ever made ice cream at home, you would know now that churning is how you get that kind of soft texture.
Otherwise, it's just really icy and
like a the Indian kulfi is like dense when you bite into it. They haven't churned it.
You know the phrase like my stomach is churning, and that's what invented ice cream. The horse's stomachs.
Yeah.
Whoa!
I thought it was the clop, but it didn't have anything to. It doesn't matter if they're two left feet, those horses.
Yeah.
It's their stomachs are churning it.
Wow.
But you have to make the horse anxious.
Yes. You tell them they've got a big gig coming up. You've got a really big gig. It could make or break your career horse.
Yep.
But it will give us great ice cream. So basically what the Air Force figured out was that they would take like punnets of cream and they'd like basically take it up in the fighters or the bombers, and they would fly at heights that were like so cold temperatures, and with the kind of movement of the plane, it would churn the ice cream in.
What?
Yeah.
What an expensive way to make it.
Yeah.
But I mean, they had to fly anyway.
Yes, right.
But it did mean the bombers didn't have bombs in it. It just had ice cream. But
Yeah, and they would. There's like Hiroshima is quite controversial, but there's probably a town out there where they just dropped
ice cream.
Rocky Road. That's not on Gelato Man.
Okay.
Okay.
I should say.
That's a Suren fact.
But yeah, they would attach the tub to the rear gunner's compartment, and it would stay cold at those high altitudes, but also the vibrations of the machine gun fire would help to churn
What?
the ice cream.
That's insane.
What a funny thing. We're killing people.
While making ice cream.
We're also making ice cream.
Well, this is, and that's crazy because this is how much ice cream was tied to American kind of hubris and American pride. There are Bugs Bunny cartoons, which you can find if you Google it. It's quite incredible. But there's like Bugs Bunny. They would, the American pop culture and propaganda stuff. They would use like different characters, and so there are Bugs Bunny cartoons from the era, from the 40s, where he goes to he's like a soldier, and he goes to Japan, and he's like driving an ice cream truck and delivering ice cream, playing the music, and all these Japanese they call them offensive words, which we would now deem inappropriate to use, so I won't use it. But Japanese people
can't say anything anymore.
Hear the music, and it's like dot dot dash dash dot 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 dash dash, and they come and he's like, ice cream, get your ice cream, and they take it, and then it turns out that they're grenades. And they blow up. But it's like that's ice cream's part of the whole war effort. That's
so interesting.
And entire,
because I think
I imagine they were quite sensitively drawn, those Japanese characters as well.
Yes. I think because I think so little about ice cream day to day, and it's so readily available that this seems insane.
Yeah.
To go to this effort so that soldiers can have ice cream.
Yeah, because I guess I don't know what kind of comforts they try to give soldiers today. But probably if you're on the front line and someone brought a punnet of ice cream to you and you're in a foxhole, you'd be like, I could just go down to the Coles.
7-Eleven.
Yeah.
I can get like one on a stick. Now what the fuck am I supposed to do with this whole tub of it?
I don't know. I reckon even now if someone goes, I got a special treat, here's a little tub of ice cream, I'm never craving it.
Yeah.
But I think it would be like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Well, if I was in a foxhole... I don't think you can always just duck down a 7-Eleven when you're in a foxhole.
No. But it's just funny that the efforts they're going to for something that is now, through a modern lens, so accessible.
Yes. But it's similar to that story I told a few years ago about that guy who took beers to his mates fighting in Vietnam.
Yep.
And
that's a great story.
And that, it was for them, there was like, oh my God, American beer.
Yeah.
It was a real thrill. So I guess it would feel...
I go overseas and I'm like, I would kill for an Australian coffee.
Right. Tim Tam.
Oh, my God. Tim Tam Slam.
Because they don't do coffee overseas, do they?
They don't. And I don't know why we haven't, shared it yet.
We should export it out there.
That should be our number one export. Because we're so good at it.
Italian Australians are so good as well. Why don't we give it back to Italy? Say, hey.
That's smart.
Here's something that you gave to us.
Thank you. Thank you for the ice cream. Here's the coffee.
Yeah.
You should try it. I think you'll like
it.
Wow.
We call it, it's like cafe latte.
Yeah.
That you probably won't get. It kind of means a coffee with milk.
Yes. Yeah.
To put it into simple terms.
Something you would understand.
Yeah. English.
To translate your language back to you.
Yes.
It's a coffee with milk.
So I want to bring you to the end of the history of ice cream, which is that after a very successful tour of Dryer, a show that Matt and I performed at the comedy festivals around Australia, very close to the Brisbane Powerhouse where our last show was. It was a great gelateria. And Matt and I, Stuart and me, Suren Jayemanne, enjoyed a little celebratory ice cream after our show.
Yeah, I wasn't. Nice. I'm like,
I had to sort of talk you into it because it was sort of 10 minutes walk past where we were living.
Pretty ready to go to bed.
Yeah.
Suren was drinking beers, which he took from the bar we were at. He's drinking them on the street. He's been a bad boy.
Yeah.
But it felt like you had to let off steam
it felt
after.
Dangerous. I'm like, I don't know if I want to be hanging out with this bad boy of comedy.
Because it starts with going to get ice cream and it ends at 4 a.m. in jail.
Exactly.
That's going out with Suren.
Yeah.
No, but I'll tell you where it ended. It ended with just a beautiful moment between friends.
It was very nice.
I had a cone and you had a cup.
Okay.
Yes. And you were shocked by that.
Yeah, I think a real celebration deserves a cone.
Right.
You're going to let
Punch
loose.
a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then the problem was then we were walking back to our house and stumble across two people who'd been at the show.
Oh,
And they stopped and they said, that was great. I really enjoyed the show. That was very funny.
that's nice.
We just picked you on a whim.
Oh, that's lovely.
We weren't even fans. And then as I was talking to them, I sort of tilted my ice cream and the scoop fell onto the ground.
With the biggest plop. I forgot about that.
Oh, my God.
And I think I heard the sound. Ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba.
Yeah. And so that is where the history of ice cream ends.
Yeah, ice cream's done.
On the floor in Brisbane.
What flavour?
I went with stracciatella.
Okay, Matt?
Because I wasn't going to have it
Yeah.
all the way up to the front. And I said, I should have something. And then I turned around, there was a line for me. I'm like, shit.
So you panicked.
I said, just give me 2 scoops that you'd recommend.
Oh, boy, that was a mistake, wasn't it?
Mistake, yeah. One of them was good. I like chocolate. And the other one was very sweet. It was it was salted caramel.
Oh, I do like
Which
a salted caramel.
it was super popular, but it was just too sweet for me.
Yeah.
I would have probably preferred an even more chocolatey one.
That's too risky.
I think you would have preferred a carrot on a stick.
Yes. Delicious.
Oh, Suren, what a great report. Is that the end of it?
Yeah, that's it.
That's great. I didn't know any of it. Like, what an interesting story. And again, just something I don't think about because ice cream's just always been there.
And there's so many, I'm like, how are you going to talk about this for long? And we didn't even get into, like, the origins of all sorts of different flavors.
Yeah.
Like, where did mint choc chip come from? Some people are disgusted by the idea of dairy and mint being mixed together, so they can't get their head around it.
I fucking love it.
But I love it. It's one of my favorites.
So I can tell you that it was a culinary student in South Devon College in England.
Oh.
She entered a competition to make an ice cream dessert for Prince Anne's wedding.
When was that? That's not that long ago.
Yeah, 1973.
Wow.
And so
What?
she
Really?
entered with mint chop chop.
When a horse has just wandered in.
But
chop.
she gave it a much easier to pronounce name, which was mint royale.
Oh,
And,
that's fancy. I
yeah.
like mint choc chip.
She got a silver cup for her efforts.
Yum.
But it's like it's probably one of the top flavors, I
I
reckon.
fucking love
classic.
it. It's my favourite. I love mint and chocolate together.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
As a
combination.
kid, my 2 scoops would have been mint choc chip and boysenberry swirl.
Oh, yum. Mine would have been mint choc chip and rainbow.
Oh yeah. I probably took you to like when I was 12, but when I was 8,
Oh, yeah.
rainbow big time.
I remember the first time having boisenberry at an auntie's place. And
Very
being like,
adult.
Holy shit. Ice cream can be so sophisticated.
Afterwards, I smoked a cigar.
I had boysenberry the other day when we went to see Planet of the Apes.
Oh, yeah. That's a great,
the
that's a great
choc
choc top option.
It is good. And
Yep.
I don't
yes.
know. Is it a berry?
It is. It's not a natural berry. It's multiple berries that have been. It's like a human-made berry.
Okay.
And it was, I think, an American invention on this theme park.
And is it just a fun joke that it rhymes with poison? Is it?
You know
Because
what?
a lot of berries would be poisonous.
Yes, that's
it came
true.
up I'm going off Wikipedia.org. The exact origin of the boysenberry are unclear, but the most definite records trace the plant as it is known back to grower Rudolph Boysen, who obtained the Dewberry Loganberry patent from the farm of John Lubbock. And then in the late 1920s, George M. Darrow of the USDA began tracking down reports of a large reddish purple berry that had been grown on Boysen's farm in Anaheim, California. And he enlisted the help of Walter Knott. And that Knott guy went on, I think, is where Knott Something Farm is, which is maybe like a fun park or something. Knott's Berry Farm.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, that's pretty boring. I do also find the Hokey Pokey. Apparently, it's called Hokey Pokey in the US and Canada, but in the UK, Ireland, and some parts of Australia, the Hokey Cokey.
Oh, I've never heard
that either.
Hokey.
But it originates back as a British folk dance, and it seems to go back at least to the 1800s.
Wow.
When it was recorded in Robert Chambers' Popular Rhymes of Scotland from 1842, with the words given as Fal diralla, Hinkambooby roundabout.
Hinkambooby.
Right hands in and left hands out. Hinkambooby roundabout.
Why is it all made up words until left hand in, right hands out?
Maybe I mean, all words are made up if you think about it.
It's
Suren.
like listening to another language where they sometimes will have borrowed words from English.
Yeah.
A hinkambooby ninga lobo.
But they might have, that could be a real word in Scots, maybe.
True. All words are really just made up sounds.
That's
Wow,
a really good
that's
point.
a really good
That is
point,
a really
Suren,
good
actually,
point.
yeah.
Thanks.
But yeah, there's a bunch of different ones. Can you dance looby looby? Can you dance looby looby? Can you dance looby looby? All on a Friday night? You put your right hand in and then you take it out.
Wow.
That bit seems pretty consistent. That was from 1892. Anyway.
Wait, you want me to do all of that on a Friday night?
That's too much.
All those looby loobies?
At the end of a work week, I want to crash.
But yeah, that was a pleasure to take you through the history of ice cream.
It was delightful.
It was delightful. Just quickly, Suren, what is your favourite ice cream?
It is the stracciatella, which I was having that night in
What is
Brisbane.
that? I've never heard of that.
I can tell you very quickly the history of that as well, because it is quite interesting. Stracciatella is a soup from Rome, which is like a meaty broth with egg that's stirred into it so that when you stir the egg in, it sort of sets in the stirring motion.
This is your favourite ice cream.
So it's like kind of stringy.
Okay.
No, but I didn't know that. Well, I was always curious why it has that name. I thought that maybe stracciatella was like a cheese because it's quite a milky flavor of ice cream. But the defining characteristic of the stracciatella is the like little dark chocolate kind of shreds that are in it.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
So that's how it got its name because when a guy was making fior di latte, his name's Enrico Panettone.
Isn't that that's
which
the
is
thing
another?
as well, isn't it?
It's too many different references
cake.
to It's like that bready kind of cake you get at Christmas. But he just on a whim, as an experiment, he squirted in some dark chocolate pieces while he was like whipping the fior di latte, and then in the churn, those pieces got shredded.
Oh, that sounds
And
so
so
good.
because it was sort of similar to the motion of like whipping in egg to the meaty broth, he's called it a stracciatella.
And
Interesting.
Is the vanilla the base ice cream?
Fior di latte is like it's milky.
Yeah,
It's sort of
that's-
like sweetened milk.
That sounds really nice. I love I like the flakes of chocolate through.
Yeah.
You know, like a Viennetta cake. Or there was briefly this ice cream, on a stick. Or ice
That was a
confection, I
carrot,
think.
man.
And it was called the Wave or something, and it was in this wave shape, but it was like that. It was vanilla
Yum.
and just these thin flakes of chocolate throughout it. It was just the
yum.
best texture. I love
You
it
can
so much.
get. Have you seen like the Viennettas on a stick?
No.
Like you can have basically a
Wow.
single serve Viennetta on a stick.
Yeah, I
sounds
certainly
awesome.
found out about that recently.
Fuck,
It
they're
is
really good.
Okay.
Oh my god, I want Viennetta now.
Isn't it
Well,
so
I think we
amazing?
answered the question, will you feel like ice cream at the
I
end of the
really
episode?
do. And waffles.
Can I remind you about the whale vomit?
I'd rather you didn't. Thank you.
Hey, Suren, thanks so much. We're Jess and I, and maybe Dave, if we can find him, we'll do.
'Cause he is fine.
He is fine, so we will find him. And you can't spell find without fine.
You're going too far now, yeah. It's sounding sus.
Oh, okay.
Just be cool and chill about
Yeah,
it.
okay. So thanks so much for joining us, Suren.
My pleasure.
Anything you can point people towards before you head off into the sunset?
Yeah, if you're in Melbourne on the 3rd of August, I'll be appearing at the live Who Knew It with Matt Stewart.
That's true.
Wow, has Matt invited you, or have you just announced that as a
I'm
way to get
weaseling
yourself
my
on?
way in.
Fuck yeah, love that for you.
No, I've been invited. Also, yeah, if you haven't watched it already and you're in an international jurisdiction,
Which I think we all are.
the ABC International, I don't know the full details of it, but it might be available to track down Good Tucker.
Yes, it's been picked up by ABC International
Yeah,
recently.
I don't know where that broadcasts, but maybe you can find it online. Therefore, or with a VPN, you could get it on the SBS on demand. And it's a fun show. Matt's in it. It's a documentary. Matt's playing himself.
I'm playing it. The character's name's Matt, but it's not me.
No.
Yeah.
It's a blowhard, know nothing, know it all.
Yeah,
yeah.
so
That's not me.
That's not
That's
our
not
Matt
me.
Stewart. That's not my Matt Stewart.
No.
But yeah, that's great. And then otherwise, I'm on Suren Comedy on Instagram.
So good. Thanks so much for coming in and telling us
Thanks for
that
having me.
story.
No worries.
I'm really keen on hearing. Can I make a request?
The
that
history
one
of
day,
spice.
because there was a whole like spice wars and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure New York City was exchanged, or sorry, Manhattan Island was exchanged for some spice
pepper or something?
islands.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
for islands. Yeah.
insane.
It's wild. Yeah. But yeah, I think there's heaps to it, and it's really interesting. But I only know little fragments. I'd love to hear the whole story.
All right.
So get writing.
So get right. You got it.
Hey, I'll tell you what. I'll do it next time David
He's fine.
goes missing.
Next time, Dave is fine.
Yes.
Okay?
Oh my God. With the back of Suren, we also get the front of Dave. Dave, welcome back.
We said all along was fine.
We said all along.
I
we didn't
was
even have to
fine.
wait till the end of the episode to find out.
I was sleeping under the table.
Did you enjoy your little kip?
It was lovely under
Did
there.
you actually hear any of the episode at all?
Yeah, something ice cream, something whale vomit, something.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, you're up to date.
So you remember the two things I told you a few minutes ago?
That's right. When I said, it was an interesting story, he said, it was an interesting story. That's right, because I think, what was it pitched to you as the interesting history of the ice cream.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I was like, was it?
I'm
It
in.
was.
It was
And
interesting.
I can't wait to listen back because I love ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to listen whilst eating ice cream.
And I asked the question at the start. I was like, by the end of this, am I going to be craving ice
yeah.
cream or am I going to be
Good question.
totally off it?
How do
And
you
by
feel?
the end, I was craving ice cream. Let me tell you.
We should say that there's, what has there been, about 3 or 4 weeks have gone past between what you just heard and this.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have not stopped eating ice cream the whole time.
Dave rang the bell in the thing we buried him in. We had to go and dig him out. It's been a whole pullover.
He's a real diva, isn't
He's
he?
a real diva. But
It was hot in there.
we got him back now. And yes, so ice cream. Oh, yeah, it was good though.
Ice
From memory.
cream. Ooh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was a good episode. I love the work of Suren.
Any mention of ice cream cake? I love ice cream cake.
No.
I mean, this is the thing. There's so much room for further ice cream episodes from Suren.
Yeah.
But I'm just remembering now that I did request that next time Suren comes in, he does the spice trade. And that whole, it's such a wild story that I don't know bits and pieces of, including that I think Manhattan was traded for access to spice. I think that's why America got it off the Dutch
Wow.
or something
that
like that. But
crazy?
it's a lot of wild stuff like that.
We would need some nutmeg. Can we give
we
you
have
Manhattan? Is that good?
Is that right? And they're like, ugh, okay.
Fine.
Just nutmeg.
Yeah.
Such a shit spice.
What a shit deal, too. Like, now now Manhattan's full of supermarket aisles full of spices.
Yeah, you
Oh
can
my
get any.
gosh.
I reckon you could get any spice in New York.
It's just
Easy. What a different time it must have been.
I challenge you.
Okay.
Go to New York City.
Yes.
Find one of every spice.
Okay. Now that that's been challenged on a podcast, is my entire 6-week US trip
Yes.
tax deductible?
Only if you come back with one of every spice.
Okay. Fantastic.
Which customs will love.
I'll say, no, it's for a bit.
That's true. I'm
they'll
committing
say,
to a bit.
fair enough.
Okay. We love commitment here. All right. So we're into the everyone's favorite section of the show. Dave, where were you, by the way? Just quickly.
I was in Bali.
Wow.
Genuinely in Bali.
Must be nice.
Must be
Buried
nice.
underground, though.
Yes.
Ringing the bell.
Ringing the bell.
Let me out.
But the bell just meant they kept bringing you drinks.
Yeah.
It was actually lovely.
Another mojito.
And when he says underground, he means like in a pool.
Yes. Yeah.
Like it's been dug into.
Dug
Deep,
bit,
yeah. It was filled with water.
In-ground pools? Bloody hell.
Yeah.
You were living it up.
None of that above ground shit.
Whoa.
What were you there for? I don't even know. A wedding?
Just a holiday.
Just a
Just
holiday.
It's
He's
a bit
allowed
of
to
a
have
wedding.
holidays.
The time I went there was for my cousin's wedding. That's why I was
Oh, that's lovely. No,
It
it was
was
just a
very
little
nice.
family getaway. It was very, very nice.
so good.
4 years in the making.
Yeah.
It was something that we'd booked it, paid up front for a discount at this hotel in February 2020.
And you didn't realise you'd booked it on the 29th of February. And you had to wait.
I had to wait for the leave
Wait
in.
4 years.
I had to wait for those bloody borders to reopen. And then the hotel closed down, and then they reopened, and I emailed, say, any chance of a credit? And they said, you can have the whole thing. Come on over.
Oh,
So
amazing.
good.
It was like, it felt like a free holiday.
Yeah.
So that was booked in well before you were married.
Yeah.
Was your wife always involved?
Yeah, it was both of us were going to go. then we ended up going married, and we went with the baby. We also said, by the way, we're going to bring our baby too. So we got a free baby as well.
You didn't have to pay for that baby?
Free baby.
Yeah, exactly.
This has worked out really well for you.
Holy
Free
shit.
cot and everything.
Oh my God.
If you'd put all that money in like some sort of an investment 4 years ago, there's no way that you would have earned a baby in
No
that time.
way.
Exactly.
There's no way. They take 10 years
Yes.
minimum.
Yes,
in a very high interest, high fees
Exactly.
account. Wow. You've done very well.
Thank
You've
you so
played the
much.
system very well,
Exactly.
my friend.
I have foresight.
So welcome home, Dave.
Great to be
And
back.
What a beautiful tan you've come back with.
Thank you.
You're glowing. You're glowing.
It's sort of summery weather there.
Yeah, it's always tropically.
Yeah.
Sort of bit humid, bit warm.
People don't know where Bali is. It's an island in Indonesia.
Indonesia, that's right. But a 5 to 6 hour flight away from us in Melbourne.
Yeah, it's nice and close. That's
And
why it's so popular.
Yeah, it's almost like it's like a stereotypical Australian getaway.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
yeah.
because it's fairly cheap, fairly close, and especially during our winters, it's much nicer weather.
Oh, yeah.
It's a place that Australia has ruined with our tourism.
That's right.
I went there for the culture.
Okay.
Although I just heard the other day that Japan has now taken over for the number one spot that Aussies go to. So we're
interesting.
ruining Japan now too. So that's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, great.
We're a cancer.
Yeah. We are the worst. Yeah.
But that did instantly make me think, I'd love to go to Japan.
Oh, if everyone's going.
So this part of the show, Dave, if you don't remember from your 1 week away, is where we like to thank some of our great supporters. These people are supporting us at patreon.com/SugarOnePod. If listeners want to get involved, they can go there and do that now. There's a bunch of different levels. Jess, you want to remind Dave of what some of those levels are?
Absolutely. And I remember them. So you can get all sorts of rewards, like 3 bonus episodes a month. Soon to be 4.
Yes.
Can we say that?
Get discounts on live tickets.
Yes.
Like, for instance, our Sydney show coming up.
Yep.
They were the first to hear about that, and they got discounted tickets. I think they still, if you signed up, you'd still maybe be able to get a discount. Same with the Melbourne Who Knew It show and the Melbourne Do Go On the Quiz, which maybe is this week.
Yes. Yeah.
Or
it's
coming
this
out really
week.
soon.
Yep.
Yeah, this weekend. Oh, my goodness.
You get to vote on topics. You get early access to everything. We tell the Patreons first.
And a fairly new feature, ad-free listening.
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
All the new episodes we put out, if you don't want to have ads in the middle, at the start, or at the end, sign up on Patreon.
Yep.
And this month, probably coming up later this month, we're going to start doing our 4th bonus episode.
That's right. We've already recorded it, and it's in the editing process. Can't wait to release those.
Really exciting. So one of the other things, if you're in the Sydney Scheinberg level or above, you get to be involved in this section of the show called Fact, Quote or Question, which has a little jingle go something like this.
Fact, quote, or question.
She always remembers the jing, he always remembers the ding, and beautifully harmonised there.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
So if you want to be on the Sydney Scheinberg level, do it. And then once you are,
I dare
Oh my
you.
God.
you
Do it.
get to give us a fact, a quote, or a question, or a brag, or a suggestion, or really whatever you like. You also
Yeah.
get to give yourself a title. The first one this week, I read out 4 each week. I don't read them out until I read them out. The first one comes from Sam Cutler, aka Sam Spamalot the Fourth. And Sam Spamalot the Fourth has a rap. I don't think we've had a rap before, have we?
Hell yeah.
Does that mean I have to rap it, or I can just read it, right?
I think you have to wrap it.
See if Sam explains
Yeah,
at the
okay,
start.
great. Sam writes, "Oh, hey, my 3 favorites. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and now with Dave's report of the East Coast, West Coast hip-hop rivalry, I have an excuse. Rap go on. Yes. Please read your respective bits.
Oh.
Hee. So much excite." Oh, my God. Okay. So,
That sounds ridiculous being read by a 100-year-old man. Sorry,
So-
400-year-old man.
So Sam has written us each I'll send you the
I'm
link
opening
over
it. No,
here.
I'm
Here
opening,
you
I'm
go.
opening.
So here you go. There you go. Got that? Don't worry, I'm linking you to it now with Wi-Fi. Are you in
actually?
the mainframe there?
Oh, my God. Which one do I click on this again?
It's
Fact, quote, or question. Response to.
Oh, perfect. It's number 1 there. Right. Fantastic.
All right. So here's mine first. And it says, please read your respective bits. So much excited. It says read, don't rap. Yo, my name is Matt, and my words are flowing. I speak so original. You can't predict where I'm going.
Oh, wow.
My voice gives your brain a fresh coat of paint. I got 2 great friends, and I like the Saints.
Oh!
Hello, everybody. My name is Jess. I got a few things to get off my chest. You better keep them digits around the right number, or I'll knock you out and into a slumber.
Snore.
You'll be the one wishing you were never born, because my laugh is gonna cause a flippin' storm. You are a great hype man.
Now hold the mic for Davis here. I keep them on track even when I disappear. I'm fine. I'm a legendary cobra, and while I was away, I duplicated and cloned you.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Yeah, especially like legendary. He said it wrong. All right, so...
Did I say legend?
But it's good that you were like, I'm fine, even when I've disappeared, and that was this episode again.
Yeah,
so
that's
that's
great.
good stuff.
Amazing
Well done,
stuff.
Sam.
That's great stuff, Sam. And I think we did it justice.
I think we got better and better, no offense. Like, I think you were like fine, and then I was like pretty good, and then Dave was very good.
I was like full Capadonna.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You were Capadonna.
I was the best Wu-Tang member.
He's your favourite.
I love Capadonna.
That's canonical, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Capadonical.
Big. Yeah, that's great.
Thank you so much, Sam. Next one comes from Patrick J. Early, a.k.a. Potato Couch Division. And
An important division. And we thank you for your work.
Patrick's offering us a joke. What a mixed bag you got today. A lot of fun. Hey, team, here's a joke I came up with recently. Oh, original joke. Here we go.
This is exciting.
If it's really good, we edit this out and I take it to the stage as my own.
Correct.
Open your show with
So
it.
I guess, Patrick, what we're saying is if this is left in, it was a shit joke. Proceed.
I want you to commit to opening your 2025 Comedy Festival show with this joke.
All right,
no
whatever
matter what
it
it
is.
is.
Okay.
This is your opener.
Oh, God.
Please welcome to the stage, Matt Stewart.
What's the difference? And I'll start with That's my classic bit.
Squinting at a screen.
Hey, everybody, thanks so much for coming out. What a pleasure to be here. Hey, just had a thought. What's the difference between overthrowing the government for a couple of days and a small vehicle? One's a 2-day coup d'etat and the other's a 2-day coupe car.
Yes!
That's the difference between the two.
That's incredible.
That's the difference.
That is
Holy shit.
good.
What's that, your first 10 minutes covered? Because there's so much applause?
Well, what I do is then I go back and sort of unpack it.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot to unpack there.
Heaps there.
That's funny.
Been some absolutely cracking episodes lately. Thanks for all the great work. Have a lovely day.
We have been on a hot streak. You're right.
You have yourself a lovely day, Patrick J. Early. Yeah, and I think it's so fun to have gone crime, ice cream.
Yeah. It's nice. Break it up.
Thank you so much, Patrick. That's a fantastic joke. We'll leave it in, but I want to see you on stage performing that sometime soon. Next one comes from Michaela McRae, aka the C word. Michaela, what a legend. Was having a drink with me and Serena. Michaela had a drink up in Sydney earlier in the year when we did the Patreon meetup. It's a great time.
That's
I think
very nice.
Michaela might have been, because at one point did we have a thing where you could order any colour merch and print it on? I think might be the only one who had a bright orange hoodie version of it.
That was from spring.
That's great. I've never seen one in the wild in that colour. I'd love to see that. Hopefully in Sydney.
I believe Michaela's coming. And Michaela, aka the C word, has a fact. So I've had a rap, a joke, and now a fact.
Oh my God.
The founder of the Birdseye brand of frozen foods was named Clarence Birdseye. I found out after my family got that wrong in a round of pub trivia. I'd been listening to my fact quote or question mentioning the name Clarence that day, and I can't believe the coincidence.
Wow.
Clarence, of course, is what my uncle uses to mean. Probably bleep that out, AJ. But people know what the bleep means. It means cunt.
He's done it again. Clarence Birdseye.
That'll really test if AJ listens to the Patreon section.
Let us know if that isn't bleeped. And we'll our editor out of a cannon. Just to wake him up a bit.
I think he'd like it.
I think he'd love it.
I think he'd go, wee!
Clarence Hunt. That was where it came from. He was like a violinist or something, I forget. But yeah, so that's just funny coincidence. Oh, and thanks to Matt and Suren for chatting after Dry in Sydney. I had so much fun. Hey, we had so much fun. I'm speaking for both of us. Oh, appropriately on Suren's episode today as well.
That's beautiful. A lot of things just really lining up.
Beautiful, the synergy. Thanks so much, Michaela. And the last one comes from Piper Gallagher. I think I sometimes say Gallagher, but there's no G there. Piper Gallagher. Okay, 4th reserve big red button pusher. No one knows what it does, but someone's got to do it.
It's an important job.
Important job. And just to keep the variety up, we've had a rap joke fact. Now we've got a suggestion.
Ooh.
And the suggestion goes like this. This one is a song recommendation. I'm not very creative or interesting, but I love to participate. Oh, my God. I feel so seen and heard.
And described.
Not very interesting.
I'm being dull even as I talk about it.
I think you're very interesting, Matt.
Oh my God, stop it.
A little too interesting.
I think you're a bit dull, but Matt, very interesting.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Piper writes, I have strong feelings about it, so strap in, buckaroos.
Okay, great.
Fast Romantics are a little indie band from Canada that I've loved since I heard them in 2016. Their 2017 sophomore album, American Love, is a beautiful John Hughesian soundtrack that satirizes American jingoism while delivering a fun 80s rock sound and keeping a hopeful and nostalgic tone. Oh, that sounds cool. If I were to recommend one track, and I am, it'd be the second track, Why We Fight, a gorgeous anthem about being broke and feeling helpless, but choosing to make the best of the good and the bad that surround you, to love and be happy in the life you have. A small lyrical excerpt, if you please, Matt. I do please. Here we go. Oh, come on, darling. I'll have a stab at the melody.
Fast Romantics?
Fast Romantics.
All right,
yeah.
I've got the song ready to go whenever you're finished with the lyrics.
Okay. Oh, come on, darling. There's a war on our TV, but it's all right. In our bedrooms we are free. Deep in the guts of me, I love you violently until dawn's early light. Yeah, so I think it probably goes something like that.
That was really nice.
Mm.
Here's what it actually sounds like.
Same.
Wow, it's uncanny. It does sound like the boss.
Probably can't play much anyway, so that'll do. Just remembered this is on an actual episode, so probably can't play much of the audio.
That's right. We will get flagged on YouTube.
We will get flagged on YouTube.
I forgot that too.
But I do like the sound of that already, just from those few bars.
Yeah, I enjoyed
that sounded
too.
really cool.
Yeah, Piper finishes by saying, I'd love to see this band get more support that they greatly deserve. I think they're massively underappreciated. Keep up the great pods, and remember, oh shit, I forgot. Must not have been important. That's good stuff from Piper. Thank you so much, Piper, Michaela, Patrick, and Sam. The next thing we like to do, I'm going to listen to that album later, unless I forget, which I almost definitely will. The next thing we like to do is thank you for other great Patreon supporters. Jess, you normally come up with a game based on the topic?
Well, I mean, we talked about ice cream. It only feels right to make it types of ice cream.
Oh, yeah, flavours.
Oh.
Flavours?
Do you want to go like real flavours, or do you want to just their order, whatever it is?
It could be either.
Dave, this is something that Suren and I learnt when we were on tour. We're separated by a great divide, and that divide is cup or cone.
Are you a cup or a cone?
Absolutely. Cone.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I thought you might be a cone.
Oh,
Cone
okay. Looking at...
oh, yeah, what do you reckon I am?
I reckon Jess is a cup and Matt is a cone.
No, exact opposite, I think.
Really?
Jess
You're
is
a
a cone,
cup?
I'm a cup.
You're a cup?
I'm a
Okay, so
cupadonna.
that's what you think of cups,
You're
and
a
you
cup.
thought it was me that was the cup.
You're a cup?
I'm a
Hello,
cup.
over here. I would like to know why I was a cup.
Undercover cup.
No, I'm just surprised. I am a little bit surprised.
That I'm not a cup, or he's a cup.
That he's a cup.
Yeah,
Well,
I agree.
I'm
it is
not a
surprising.
huge sweet tooth, so as a kid, I love waffle cones. I love the cones.
Yeah.
But now I just want to focus on the ice cream. And
On the main event.
I normally go
Yeah.
for like a chocolate or a,
Yep.
He's
And
a
I don't-
basic bitch. And that's okay.
But then I also don't mind a cornetto occasionally. But I would say I have an ice cream maybe once every couple of years or something.
Yeah, I don't like buy an ice cream out all that often. I used to be a cup person because then you'd eat it with a little spoon. It was a bit neater. But I have gone back to to cones more.
I think
now.
to be honest, I did dabble with a cup for a while, but now I'm back
now
on
I'm cones because I like to eat the cones.
I like to punch
It's funny
them.
to say, I like cones.
Yeah, I punch them all.
Punch some cones.
Well, what's Suren? Obviously,
Suren's a cone
Cone.
Cone
man.
Man.
It's cone
So
man.
I'm really outnumbered.
No. There's no wrong way to eat ice cream.
Exactly.
Unless you're like
3-1.
putting it in your
I'm just
butt.
happy to hear that you're eating ice cream because honestly, what a privilege.
Yeah, what a beautiful way to live.
One of my great ice cream eating experiences was when we were watching Stevenson, who invited us when we were in England the first time to go see
Hamilton,
Hamilton.
yes. And we got little ice creams.
and we got little Haagen-Dazs ice creams.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, that was a lovely night.
That was cool.
It was like our last night on the tour. So
Yeah.
what a great
Yeah,
way
it
to
was,
finish
wasn't
it
it?
off.
We went out for dinner and then we went to Hamilton and that was like end of tour.
Yeah.
Have you kept up with Stevenson?
Yeah, I follow
He
him
took
on.
us out to dinner? Or
He
didn't
met us out for dinner.
Met
Met us
dinner?
out. I follow him on
haven't
I'm
spoken to him in a
really,
while.
in my mind, I'm bringing it. He picked us up in a limo, took us out to dinner. No, he met us briefly at
He
dinner.
met us briefly. Yeah.
But lovely of him to have us out. And I haven't spoken to him in quite a few years, but I do follow him on Instagram as well. Very successful,
Yeah, he's-
often acting in different productions.
He's killing it.
That's awesome.
Touring around the UK and etc.
And didn't he like DM'd you or something when we were on tour? He's like, "Hey, I listen to your podcast, Dave. I'm in Hamilton if you want to come and watch
No,
it."
I was a bit cheekier than that, to be honest. He had tweeted or DM'd me about looking forward to seeing our show or something. And then I saw in his profile that he was part of Hamilton's cast. So I was like, we hope to see you at your show. We'll be entering the ballot. Because at the time, it was like and still, I
that's
imagine it's very difficult to get
cheeky,
Yeah.
Dave.
tickets.
Yeah.
There's a ballot every day where like 6,000 people enter for 4 tickets or something.
Yep.
And he said, I'll DM you. And then I was like, it's happening.
Yes.
Dave,
Stevenson, are you still
cheeky.
listening? We think you're a legend.
Can you get me tickets?
Yeah, we're coming back.
Okay, so I'll read out the names. Dave, you go a couple cone or what vestibule it's in, and Jess comes up with the
Fuck yeah.
with kind of ice cream.
Okay, but is there more options than couple cone?
Well, no, I think like goblets.
Yeah, you could pick it up.
Don't spoil that. You can have fun with it.
Okay.
Well, he was trying to help you. You asked a question, he was helping you.
Okay. Great.
Okay, I'm going to.
Hamlet like skull.
That would have been a good one.
Edit that out, AJ. Edit that out. All right, let me kick it off. First up, thank you so much for your support, from Gordon in Victoria. What a great name for a town.
That's great.
Here in Australia. It's Matt J.
Matt J eating his ice cream out of a novelty-size ice cream scoop.
Whoa.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
So he's holding the
You're holding
scoop.
it, but it's huge. Like it's big enough for like
So
3.
you sort of have to hold it sideways.
Yeah.
And you got a normal size scoop to scoop into the scoop, or can you scoop with the big scoop and then just eat straight out
I
of
think
the
it
scoop?
depends on the venue. You take it to the ice cream shop, and if sometimes they'll let you scoop, like they'll use
it's
your
a
scoop.
BYO
Yeah.
vessel.
Yeah. Or other times they'll say, "Sorry, I have to scoop my scoop into your scoop."
Okay, he's gone unhinged early.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
And Matt's order is chocolate chip cookie dough.
Oh, yeah, lovely. Out of a big
Love that.
scoop.
Big scoop of that.
I'm picturing like a Gray Nichols Scoop 2000 cricket bat. Is that what you mean by a big scoop?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Scoop 2000, the old Willow scoop.
It's just, to me, it's just one of the great names for a cricket bat.
Scoop
The Scoop 2000. Because there's a scoop taken out of the back of it.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And there he is, a defensive block with the Scoop 2000.
A defensive block of cookies and cream ice cream. Thank you so much to Matt. I'd also love to thank from Portland, Oregon, in the United States of America, Laura Earn.
Laura Earn.
How about I go flavour first and then the vessel?
How would you, again, I think this is maybe needs a bit of an Irish.
Let me look at
Irish eyes.
I'm coming. Yeah, I don't know.
A-E-R-N-E looks Irish, doesn't it?
It does look it, yeah.
Laura Earn.
Has ordered pistachio.
Pistachio, and she is using an urn.
Oh, that's full on.
It's big.
Wait, an urn is in like a...
Is it like grandma or something? It's just having one last ice cream with grandma?
I was thinking more of like a thing that you would have boiling water, that type of
Oh, that kind
okay.
of urn.
Okay.
Yep, okay, and that's why it's important to
Yeah,
clarify.
exactly. Whoa.
Keith
Grandma.
Richards didn't he snort his dad or something? Could be like that.
Yeah.
Eat your mum.
With pistachio.
Thank you so much, Laura. I'd also love to thank from Olympia in Washington, the United States,
And the flavour is
Neapolitan.
Neapolitan.
Bit of everything.
Bit of
yeah.
everything, and it's being served in a fish bowl.
Ooh.
I full 180'd on Neapolitan as a kid. I went strawberry vanilla chocolate, but now chocolate vanilla strawberry.
Oh, really? That's a full 180, right?
Yeah, full 180.
Oh my gosh. I would probably say I used to think strawberry was number 1, but now it's slipped to number 2, and chocolate's number 1. But vanilla is still third for me.
Yeah.
But also the flavour of strawberry is never the best in those.
No, that's the problem with it, I
Yeah.
think. I think I'd like a real strawberry, maybe.
Yeah, that's lovely.
But also, I really love a good vanilla now.
Yeah.
That makes you think, doesn't it?
You've learned a lot about yourself.
The Neapolitan quiz. You could learn a lot about yourselves. Next one comes from address unknown, can only assume from deep within the fortress of the moles. Please, and thank you to Michael Giles.
Michael Giles has ordered one of my childhood favourites, Rainbow.
Oh, I love a rainbow.
Were you disappointed or otherwise when you found out what its real flavour was?
Well, see, the Rainbow Paddle Pops are, spoiler alert, caramel, which I feel okay with because I do like caramel. But I feel like the rainbow from a shop tasted different.
Okay.
I think so too.
Maybe it was still caramelly, but it did taste a bit different.
Interesting, yeah, because I was fully fooled by the Paddle Pop Rainbow. I loved it. And I'm like, it's sort of, I don't know, because caramel's such a shit colour. It's, it's brown.
Yeah.
It's a shit colour. But rainbows,
so
it's
fun.
magical.
Yeah,
But if
agreed.
you eat enough rainbow.
So I think rainbow matches the caramel flavour better, if you know what I mean.
Yes, agreed.
And this rainbow is being served in a bowler hat.
Oh, that's a bit of fun.
Oh, hello.
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 I shouldn't have put that back
Oh,
on.
I've got a sticky hand now. Fun stuff like that.
That is fun.
Oh, my head's all sticky.
He's dripping down my gusset.
Was that because his name's Giles? Giles does feel like
A butler.
Michael Giles.
Michael Giles. Hello. From Paisley in Great Britain.
Oh, Paisley.
Please, and
Hello,
thank you
Scotland.
to Donald Moran. Donald Moran.
Donald. What?
Butterscotch.
Okay. Being served on a teaspoon.
Oh.
It's so strong, you only need a little bit.
Wow.
That's interesting.
Just a slither.
Wow.
Because if you think about it, if you could be satisfied with just the free sample that they give you,
That'd
you
be
never
nice.
have to
That's
pay
the dream.
again.
Yeah, that'd be good.
It's free for life.
Thank you. Have a good day. You
And
leave.
Donald is living that dream.
Yeah, but only because the butterscotch is so strong.
So rich.
Yes, a rich tapestry.
Thank you so much to Donald. Also, I'd love to thank from Toowoomba in Queensland, Australia, Alex Holly.
Alex Holly has ordered a scoop of black raspberry chip.
Whoa,
Black
that
raspberry
sounds
chip.
awesome.
But I'm afraid the shop is out of cones.
Oh.
It's out of cups.
Oh.
All they've got is a basketball that one of the owner's kids had, and they stabbed the ball,
Wow. Just
cut
sort
it
of
in
made
half,
Yeah, okay.
and now they're handing it out.
Have they given it a rinse?
Oh, it's the inside.
Yeah.
It's
you don't
fine.
have to rinse the inside.
No, it's
Just
fine. No one's
enjoy
ever
the
touched-
rubbery taste. That's
no
fine.
one's ever touched the inside.
He's psychotic today.
I'm so sorry, Alex.
What are you trying to think of fucking round things to put food in?
It doesn't have to be round.
I mean, it could be so many things.
Literally a cone.
You haven't used cone or cup yet.
I'm saving for the grand finale.
From Sunbury in Victoria. I spent a lot of great holidays in Sunbury, which is funny to think back to now because it is
It's a suburb
just
now.
outside. It's basically, is it literally a
I
suburb
think
now?
it's a suburb now, yeah.
But back then it was I got friends who lived there. I love going out to Sunbury. From Sunbury in Victoria, please and thank you, Jessica Cardi.
And Jessica Cardi has a party in their mouth because they have ordered. My favourite, mint choc chip.
Oh, mint choc chip. And
that's
you
up
say
there
it's
for
a
me
party in
too.
their mouth. There's also a party in the receptacle's mouth because it is there's little wind-up teeth that go...
Yeah? What?
But with ice cream in it.
That is fun.
So it's like you're making out with the teeth.
Making out with the teeth. Feels like you're making out with the teeth. It's been a while, but geez, that is real virgin stuff from you, Dave.
It has been a while.
That's the only action Dave gets. Making out with them teeth.
Was it the mint took you to teeth, like mint toothpaste?
No, it was because Jess had said it's a party in your mouth.
Okay. And teeth, you know, when I think parties.
I think fake teeth.
Who's attending a party in a mouth?
Yeah.
Teeth. From Aldgate in South Australia, please and thank you to Amber Rowlands. That's one of the great names.
That is
Amber
a great name.
Love that
And
name.
another party in the mouth. Cotton candy flavoured ice cream.
Oh,
wow.
Fairy Floss.
Fairy floss, as we call it here.
Which is the original name I learnt recently.
Oh.
That's what I think that
Strange
was.
sound. Sorry about that. Oh.
I think it was initially called Fairy Floss and then they, changed it to probably a better name, but we stuck with the
I
original.
think cotton candy's nice.
Yeah, cotton candy's great.
The cotton candy or fairy floss is being served in an empty cornflakes box.
Ooh, you could fit quite a bit in.
Yeah. Just fill it
And
up.
again, cardboardy taste. That's fun.
Do you reckon ice cream shops will ever do like the 7-Eleven Slurpee Day type thing where they'll fill up whatever receptacle you can fit under
Love
the
that day.
machine? So if you bring in like a full, like a giant cardboard box, you say, fill her up with ice cream, boys.
Beep, beep, beep. You back it in. It's still a cardboard box. Why are you backing it in?
You are chaos when it comes to desserts.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
And let's go with our last one. Still doesn't use cup or cone. From Missoula in MT in the US, it's Angel Grigo.
Watermelon.
Ooh.
In a bowl.
Oh my God, bowl is another classic you haven't used.
But it's a salad bowl.
Oh, my
my
God.
God.
Huge.
What
That's
is this?
wild.
Yeah. You reversing that in? Beep, beep.
That's how big the bowl is.
MT, Montana?
Oh, great question.
Let's look it up.
Oh, was it Big Sky? Home of
Montana.
home of Dana Carvey, I believe.
Really?
Maybe?
Oh, my goodness.
Thank you so much to Angel, Amber, Jessica, Alex, Donald, Michael, Am, Laura, and Matt. And that leaves us...
Oh, my God. Dana Carvey's from Missoula, Montana.
Whoa!
Oh, my gosh.
Holy shit, Angel.
And it's not a big place either. It looks like it has a population of about 73,000 or 117 if you take in the metropolitan area. But not that many.
No.
Yeah.
There could be a connection there. Angel, if you can get Dana Carvey on the show, let us know. I'm pretty sure he moved to California decades ago, but still.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Also born there, David Lynch.
Whoa.
Really? Amazing.
He's one of the more Lynchian characters I know. Don't you think?
Fuck, actually, yeah, now that you put it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, it's really, just an interesting guy.
Yeah.
So Lynchy.
Very
He's
Lynchy.
Very Lynchian. So the last thing we need to do is welcome a few people in the Triptych Club. And I had this thought today, just looking back to the top. What do you guys think about? I think I've maybe pitched this in the past. We do a little addendum. We won't have to do it for a few years. The Triptych Club. People have been in for 9 years. We won't have to do it. People will only be entering in the year 2026, I think.
Oh, yeah. And what do we do for them?
I think it would just be, they'd be tacked on, they'd be going to a separate room inside.
Oh, like a little...
There's a VIP in the VIP.
Yeah.
Wow.
We'd build a new section in there and they would also get access.
Well, we've
for
got
that.
time to build it. Yeah, if we're thinking of it now in 2024.
Yeah, that's right. We've got to get the planning permission.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we've got the space. We could definitely do that.
It'll be November 2025, so yeah.
Oh, shit, okay. Well, that does bring it a bit closer.
Almost a year and a half away.
Okay. Well, if we get onto the planning now.
We get the permits.
Yeah.
Because we do everything above the board here.
Of course we do.
We do it all
We're
above,
winking at each other.
above the
I was
board.
wanking at you.
Oh.
Just stop wanking at us.
Sorry.
And then making eye contact whilst you're
I thought
wanking
we
at
were
us.
all wanking at each other.
Only
I
two of us
misunderstood.
were.
It's weird when you have these misunderstandings that only work on paper when you're doing it.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were wanking.
But
I thought
I
we
just
were all
had that
wanking.
thought on my way into the studio today. I thought
Yeah.
that would be really cool.
Yep.
And I thought maybe just to give people some heads up, because I was looking at there's some great names that we would remember as our earliest. Remember Steve Hanmer, the Hammer of God, or whatever they called him. And Elijah Shelley and Adam Soss and stuff. They've been around since basically we started. I don't know. I thought it'd be cool to suckle back.
If I was around, if I was on a Patreon for something from the beginning and I'd been on this long, I would then feel so bad to ever leave. Wouldn't you? I'd be like, they'll know I've left.
No.
And I'll feel so bad.
No pressure, team.
No,
No pressure.
I'm just saying that's how I would feel.
Man, I'm just looking at all these names from right up the top.
No, that wasn't about them. I'm just saying that's how I would personally feel mortified to leave the page.
I'd feel like a terrible person.
Yeah, I'd feel like so embarrassed. I'd be like, they're going to get this big notification. It's going to wake them up at 3 a.m.
No,
that
please.
I've left their page. I'd feel mortified.
Oh, Steve Hamner, no.
No.
Don't leave us now after all we've been through together.
Jess is joking. Please don't turn this into a burden for them. That'd be the worst.
No, that's right. If it's no longer your thing or you can't afford it for whatever reason, please, there's never any pressure.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Jess won't judge you. Well, maybe Jess will, but Matt and
I
I
don't
won't.
look at the Patreon app at all, so don't stress. I can't log in on my phone anymore.
What happened?
I don't know. Just the other day, it was like, no, you have to log back in. And then I couldn't remember the password and I gave up.
There's 3 people being inducted in.
The password is Steve Hamner 118.
Because he's like, we have some patrons and supporters who are quite active and we talk to him regularly, online and stuff. But there's some like Steve. He doesn't really get in touch with us. So I was like, holy shit, the Hammer's still involved.
I'm stoked to hear that he's still involved.
Yeah,
Steve,
awesome. Cool.
Steve, this is your triptych shout out.
Yeah, well, you've inspired. I think we could even call it the Hammer Wing or something.
Oh, that's nice.
That's the Steve Hamner Appreciation Wing.
That's lovely.
Which could be, you could argue, would be brutal to Elijah, who signed up hours later.
So we just have to wait for Steve to drop off, and then we'll have to rename the wing. And now, Steve, you can never drop off.
That's right.
All right, so just 3 inductees.
You can. I'd just be mortified. Anyway, yep.
3 inductees into the Triptych Club, which is why I won't tell Jess, because she has apparently no access to that information. Sorry, I'm reading out. I'm getting ahead of ourselves. We got 6 this week.
It's double.
Double. I was reading in halves, which is one of my issues that I have. Now, if you don't know, this is where people who've been signed up on the shout-out level or above for 3 straight years get welcomed into a club that they're not allowed to leave, but they're glad of it because they wouldn't want to even if they could. It just happens that it's a one-way valve entry, and we can't. We've tried to fix it and we can't.
Yeah.
So there's just no exit, but it's a fantastic place. There's everything you'd ever need in there. And the way it works is Dave books a band. I don't know how they leave. Well, I guess all the bands remain in there as well. Is that right, Dave?
They're trapped in there.
They're happy in there.
Yeah, Dave books a band, or usually way in advance, so don't expect it to be relevant to ice cream or anything. And Jess also creates sometimes a drink, sometimes a food dish, sometimes both.
Yep. Well, we've got an ice cream bar this week.
Oh, that is exciting.
And so it's sort of like when you'd go to Smorgies as a kid, so you could get ice cream, you can put your own toppings on it and stuff. I've got like some hot sauce and stuff. It is too hot, but the ice cream is
hot
cold.
Chocolate sauce.
But the hot chocolate sauce is actually
it just instantly melts the ice cream.
Yeah, and probably through the bowl.
I love it. Everyone, I reckon, as a kid in Melbourne at least, or maybe in Australia, or maybe in the world, probably not, but has like a place that they remember for special occasions they'd go to that had a desert bar or dessert bar. A dessert bar.
Why would it have a desert bar filled with dessert?
Well, when I was a child, it was, I think we were coming out of an ice age, and just having a little spot of desert my God, was a treat.
Yes.
It's a real oasis.
Sorry, that was privilege talking.
Yeah,
Sorry
that was
about
privilege talking.
Sorry.
No, but mine was Pizza Hut.
Yes.
Which was good. And another one was, which I never had, which was, what was that other classic all-you-can-eat one?
Was it Smorgies?
Smorgies was a big one. I think there might even still be a Smorgies.
There was another one, you're right.
Sizzlers. That's right. Yeah, I've never been to a Sizzler, but I had friends, and that was always...
You had friends?
Well, look,
what was that like?
I went to school with people, and they'd brag about going to Sizzler sometimes. Never got the privilege, but did go to Pizza Hut.
Yeah, just getting like...
Those cubes of jelly?
Yes, cubes of jelly and like chocolate
M&Ms
mousse.
or Smarties maybe.
And
you could
soft serve ice cream.
And have as much as it. You could just keep going back.
Man, those were the good old days.
Yeah. Anyway, so you've got a setup like that, only good. Because it was awful. Looking back, it was probably disgusting.
Yeah, this is pretty good. I would just steer clear of the hot sauce.
Okay, great.
Because it's far too hot.
Dave, have you booked a band?
You're never going to believe it.
What have you done?
I've actually booked this Canadian band that I've just been introduced to. I think they're Canadian. I've already forgotten. You're never going to believe it. When Jess mentioned them before, I was like, oh my God. when you were playing them before.
Oh.
Hitting the stage tonight. Fast Romantics
Fast
are here.
Romantics.
Wow.
Fast Romantics. Are they Canadian?
Remember when Jess brought it up? I think everyone listening should know that was Jess's recommendation.
Yes.
If they become one of your favourite bands, remember that Jess
That was from me.
suggested it.
I meant Jess was playing it, and I couldn't believe it. And then, Matt, you were reading out the lyrics, and I was like, they're about to hit the stage. We're going to hear it tonight. From Calgary, yes.
And I think Piper also suggested them a little bit, but I think
suggested
mainly it
them
was Jess.
to the show, but I obviously booked these guys months in advance.
Yes.
So it's just an amazing coincidence, Piper. I appreciate
And sorry
you.
that I got involved accidentally because I didn't realise you were going to be back because I've booked Ice Cream Hands to play as well. Also coincidental, I booked them.
Oh, really? So we got two. There's a mini festival in here tonight.
Yeah.
Ice Cream Hands.
That is happening a bit. I wish you two would just communicate off pod. Just
Jess,
every
can
now
you
and
tell
then.
Dave that I'm not ready to communicate?
Okay, I understand.
I am looking forward to Ice Cream Hands playing their hit No Weapon But Love.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. And another
Do you
song.
remember Ice Cream Hands?
No.
They were an old Triple J type of band, I think, from like the 2000s.
Oh, I thought you might have just typed into Spotify Ice Cream, but there you go.
Let me have a look. I mean, there's a few. There was that song by Muscles. Remember that Ice Cream song? That was another big Triple J hit.
No. You keep saying that because I used to work at
I
Triple
know,
J,
but this
I
was when
worked
you were
there like 3
you were
years.
a toddler.
Yeah, exactly. So no, I don't remember.
They don't give you a crash course in every song they've ever played?
No. No, they don't. And they
weird.
should.
You don't remember Ice Cream Hands?
They don't give you a crash course in when Triple J was actually good.
Back when I was young. So we got 6 people to welcome in.
Oh my God, yes. I thought we were done.
We're
But
not done. And
we're
food's-
not done. We're doing our most important part. All right, so Dave's going to hype them up with weak wordplay. Jess hypes up Dave.
Unbelievable.
Well, I'm just setting the scene.
That's fine.
I'm going to read them out. I've got their names on a clipboard. Here we go. First up, please welcome and make them so welcome and get ready to enjoy a great double headline show from St Austell in Great Britain. What would that be? Coventry? No, it doesn't matter. From Con, it's Bailey Sage.
Hit the stage, Bailey Sage!
That is so
Come
good.
on, keep the flow. My God.
I've lost the page. And
Unbelievable.
from Tacoma in Washington, in the United States, it's Marcus Motta.
They've woken me from my Tacoma. It's Marcus Motta!
Marcos! Woo!
From Sydney, Sin City itself, up in New South Wales, Australia, it's Clancy Greening.
More like Clancy Gleaming.
Oh, you're
It's how I feel when I see Clancy.
You're
you
gleaming.
are gleaming.
Yeah.
Okay, what are you gleaming? And from address unknown, can only assume from deep within the fortress of the moles, please welcome Mary de Groot.
I give a hoot for Mary de Groot.
Yes! Hoot, hoot!
You're Mary de Groot. I am de Groot. Is that anything? Is that a reference?
Shut the fuck up.
From Roseville in MNUS, maybe Minnesota. It's not a cat.
Not a cat. They're not a dog either. They're a legend. It's not a cat.
Yeah.
And finally, from Cambridge in Cam GB. I reckon it's Cambridge.
What's that one for?
It's Vicky H.
Look, usually I'm pretty picky. And I continue to be picky. It's only for the best for us. It's Vicky! Woo! Picky, Vicky!
Thank you so much to Vicky, Nodda, Mary, Clancy, Marcos, and Bailey. Welcome in. Make yourselves at home. Grab some ice cream.
Yep.
Head on over to the band room, and we're going to have a great night. We're going to party to celebrate your entries into the club.
Welcome.
Now that brings us into the episode. Jess, anything we need to do before we boot this baby home?
You can suggest a topic if you bloody want to, you little cutie pants. There's a link in the show notes. It's also on our website, which is dogoonpod.com, which is where you can find information about our other podcasts, about tours, merch, all that sort of good stuff. And you can follow us at dogoonpod across social media.
Yes, we're doing most weeks there's 2 clips from each episode-ish that you can check out. Please like them and share them.
Please.
And if you want to see us live in person, if you're in Melbourne or Sydney, coming up this weekend in Melbourne, we're doing the live Do Go On the Quiz Show. And then the following weekend, we are in Sydney at the fabulous Ritz Cinema in Randwick for a live Do Go On podcast. Tickets available at our website as well, dogoonpod.com.
There's new T-shirts out at the moment as well. If you're a Brendan Fraser fan.
Fraser fan.
I've mispronounced his name because I'm a big one. Brendan Fraser fan. Are they publicly available, Dave, or are they just the Patreons?
They're publicly
I know
available.
everyone you can order one. They're made to order, and the order is closing soon, so get involved. please, would love to give you a Phrasing the Bar t-shirt.
Yeah, it's going to be a real limited edition based on pre-sales.
Yeah. Very limited. Hey, we'll be back next week with another episode, but until then, I'll say thank you so much for listening, and until then, goodbye.
Later.
Bye.